Eugene.
That's part.
I believe I love that too.
All right, are we live? Awesome. Hello, everybody. All right, great.
Finally.
It's so good to just be on here. Honestly, we've missed you guys very much. We've missed every single one of you guys, and we've just missed doing this. I think not only has it been, I know it's been a blessing for different people, but it's really been a big blessing for us. We started this, I would say, something for, we started, I'm saying we started this podcast a little bit also for selfish reasons, because it gives us a place for us to not only go into these things a little bit deeper, but it gives us an opportunity to invite people and ask them questions. And ask them questions.
Yeah.
And so we have a really cool show planned today.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We've been planning this, but I'm going to go over kind of what we're going to be talking about today, what the goal is. And we're going to get started. So we're going to be talking about, well, I feel like we owe you guys a personal life update.
Yeah.
Since we've seen you
been
guys.
Missing in action.
Yeah, we haven't seen you guys in more than a year.
Over a year. It's been over a year that we haven't had. Dude, time flew. I can't believe I feel like we just did our first episode like a month ago, but no, it was like a year and like a couple months ago.
Well, yeah. There's so much to get into there. Okay, so we have a personal life update. We're going to talk about different things that have been going on. Gabby, as you can see, she is pregnant with our fifth child.
Fifth child.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that. We'll talk about the house that we bought and that journey there, which is going to be pretty cool. We'll talk about a marriage group that we have and just different things that are going on. That I think there's a lot of different lessons that we've learned, and I'd like to share them with you guys. Yeah, get into that. We're also going to be talking about a 2026 monthly budget. What a good monthly budget is for family, and what it's interesting because we put it in ChatGPT in different sources, and goodness, guys, if you live here in California, God bless you. God bless us.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Well, what I'm trying to say is I think we want to talk and just kind of just say this podcast where obviously whoever tunes in, but it's God put it in our hearts to speak to specifically Californians. Because I mean, we live in California. We live in Los Angeles County, right? So we have gone through so much, and sometimes we think like, man, how do we do it? You know, how are people doing it? You know, and living here with all the expenses that we go through, all the different things that you just encounter on everyday life.
And I feel like you and I have gotten a lot of breakthrough in this area. I mean, a lot of breakthrough in this area, and we are going to share our strategies. We're going to share what has worked for us. I mean, not only help us come out of a survival mindset, but now thriving in different areas. And so we want to share a lot of that as well. So
and also what hasn't worked.
That's true.
And also what we have, things that we've had to like, oh no, that didn't work out. We can't do that anymore.
So we'll get into that as well. We also are going to be talking about A.M.A. pregnancies. Gabby, what's an A.M.A. pregnancy?
This is my first A.M.A. pregnancy. It's advanced maternal age pregnancy. So that makes me sound and feel so old, but I know I'm not.
In my eyes, you're always that 13-year-old girl I fell in love with.
This guy. Yeah. So
18.
We will talk about that. I know 18. Kids,
so
18.
we're going to be talking about that. I'm excited to share a little bit how, you know, me like as a husband, obviously this is an advanced maternal. It's both of us, right? People say, "Oh, we're pregnant." I know I'm not pregnant, duh. Like I'm not having, but she's pregnant, and so we're kind of pregnant because it affects my entire life as well.
Okay.
And so we're going to be talking about that as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're taking the brunt of it physically, but there's a lot that I'm, involved in as well. And so I'm excited to share about that. We're also going to be talking about parent non-negotiables. Now, we saw this pretty cool video on Instagram, and it's this couple, very cute couple. They're talking about what their parent non-negotiables
Mhm.
are, like what they're like. No, we definitely don't allow this in our house. So we're going to be reacting to that kind of stuff, but then also sharing some of what's helped us with our children as
Mhm.
well. We're also going to be talking about where hopefully we can get to this, what content we approve for our kids, like meaning what shows we allow them to see, and what shows we don't allow them to see.
And,
Um,
we I think people who are tuning in, I think you guys know that Pablo and I were, everything we do, it's around, or the foundation is the Bible, it's the Word of God. That's how we live our lives, and we want to share, that as well. We want to share, like, doing it with God is just much better than
mhm,
doing it alone.
mhm.
So we're always going to be injecting
Yeah.
that, that's because that's our life. That's how we live our life.
Well, I
So,
think I think that's a really good transition, baby, into kind of so we're gonna try to get to all these things. But before we get to all of that, I know we're starting off the next to be I'd like to share with you all what the vision for this
yeah,
podcast
yeah,
is, why we're doing
I
what we're
think that's
doing,
good.
and kind of what we what the purpose for this is, why you should
Hmm.
watch this podcast,
Exactly. Yeah.
and all that. So the vision for this podcast, everyone, is we are focusing and we are building three different things. Okay. One
Hmm.
of my friends calls it the impossible three. And why is it the impossible three? Because they're all fighting each other at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. We are trying to build healthy marriages,
Yeah.
we're trying to build healthy children,
Hmm.
and we're trying to build healthy finances.
Yeah.
Now you say, okay, yeah, that sounds great, Pablo. Um, healthy, what is healthy? And that's I think you got to know this, like healthy according to what the word of God says,
Right.
right? Because there's a healthy that I could say like, oh well, I think that this and I think that, but we're always going to weigh everything against what the word of God says. Listen, I've only been around for, how old am I, baby girl? 38.
Yeah.
I've only been around for 38 years. Okay. God's been around for way longer than I have. He created me, he created everything that we see. And so he's definitely got way more wisdom than I could ever have. And this is the source of our wisdom. This is the
Right.
source, like every good thing that has ever happened in our life.
Yeah.
We give credit to
Hmm.
God. We give credit
Yeah.
to his word. We give credit to his kindness and his mercy over our lives, the favor that he gives us.
Hmm.
And so that we're speaking from that place. And so why do I say that these three fight each other? Because they do, guys. Like
Yeah.
if you could be having great conversations with your wife and then your children literally barge in
Yeah.
to the conversation and let you finish
And
anything
interrupt.
and interrupt.
Yeah.
Or you could be like this great father. It's like, you, man, all the time with their kids, all the time. But then your wife's like,
What
wh-
about me?
what about me? Or we need money.
Seriously, go and
Go
get
get
it.
us some money,
Yeah.
please. I like how you're being a great father,
Yeah.
but go work, get us some money. So you see, all of these three different, like it's really tough, guys. And so ultimately, what we want to do is we want to have this podcast, but eventually just have a community, bring in a community of like-minded people that are all
Yeah.
trying to do the same thing, because this is really tough, guys.
Yeah. And I think for us, we are so blessed that we don't realize that there are a lot of people that don't have this type of community. I think that because Pablo and I, we grew up in church and we've always had a community, a very strong community.
Mhm,
Um, and now we're part of other communities, with other
mhm,
people that we've
mhm,
met throughout the years. And we're so blessed to be surrounded by like-minded people,
Mhm.
but we realized, like, wait, not everyone has this. So we felt like, you know what? We'll step up and we'll start something, where
Mhm.
we can have like-minded people come together and encourage one another. We're
Mhm.
still in the process of what that even is going to look like. We have a lot of dreams, we have a lot of ideas. Um of how that's gonna look like,
Mhm.
but we're still in that, like in that process of
Yeah.
how.
Mhm.
But this is the beginning, of having this podcast
Yeah.
and seeing where it goes
And,
from
and
here.
and I love it so much, baby. Like how you say it. Like this is we're starting off a live podcast. Charles, I don't know how many people are logged on. Maybe
Maybe
it's a
it's just
big
my
giant
mom.
donut. All right, there's six of us.
6 of you
Yeah.
watching.
All right. So, but I don't care because
Yeah.
I know that this is gonna be a blessing to many different people. And listen, if you are like, dude, man, I've just been feeling alone. I've been feeling
Yeah.
like, yeah, I want to do these things, but it is hard, man. It's hard to find a community. Some people are like legit, like crazy. Some people are like, some communities are like, it's kind of like a cult. I want to join that, but they're kind of cultish, So, listen, man, I'm not saying we got everything, put
Oh,
together,
no.
but I'm
Yeah.
saying
We
we're
have
on the
not
journey of
arrived.
this.
Yeah.
And look at the fruit.
Yeah.
Look at the fruit.
Yeah.
Look at the fruit in our lives. And, you know, um, and ask,
Yeah.
ask,
And our
ask.
biggest desire and prayer is that like our hearts are for marriages, our hearts are for family, our heart is for the children. I think because of our background, I think a lot of you guys have heard our testimony. If you're new here, Pablo and I, we grew up in broken homes, and it's like,
Mhm.
well, that's not new, right? Unfortunately, like you kind of hear that a lot. But we grew up in very broken homes, broken marriages, and just to Pablo and I are going to be 15 years in June this year, married, and with our fifth child. So, and things are not like barely good. They're actually really good. Like we don't want to kill each other. We spend together like all day pretty much together, and we just
Mhm.
I don't get tired of him, and I'm
Yeah.
not like, oh my god, I wish that he would
Yeah.
leave me alone. Like no, but I say that because I credit that to God,
Mhm.
and I credit that to the people that we've surrounded ourselves with.
Mhm.
And we just have been so blessed to have people in our lives that have taught us like the principles,
Well,
of
because
a good marriage.
we could have every excuse, and statistically you could look at our lives and where we come from,
Yeah.
and you can say there's no way, like
No,
this
yeah.
has to have been a miracle.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're not this crazed man that can't, like, bro,
Yeah.
guys, I was destined to some real, like, I'll tell you guys as we're going. Obviously, you'll find out more things about me. But the people that knew me when I was younger, bro, this guy's crazy. So
Yeah.
like the way that God has protected me throughout the years, the way that God, Gabby and I always say, we feel like we're at level 0, and we've gotten so much breakthrough because we started at level negative 15. So
We're
so
finally where we're supposed to be,
so
guys.
it's funny because we've had all this breakthrough in so many different areas, but then we look back and we're like, dude, now we're just normal.
We're just supposed to be where we're
now,
supposed to be. Yeah.
now we're just normal.
Yeah.
So
Now we can like actually start building.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying, and that's the whole point. Because now it's like we're building and we're leveling up, and every year we're dreaming bigger, and every year we're continuing to expand. The Lord renews our hearts, He works in our hearts and gets us ready for like next
Yeah.
level, different things.
And
And
then
so
sometimes you have to go back and reevaluate and
Mhm.
say, hey, like we need to go and fix this, fix that, before we go to the next chapter or the
Mhm.
next, whatever step. So it's a journey, but we feel like we have the grace to be able to share the
Mhm.
journey with you guys and to to just let you in, and show you guys like this is what God has been doing in our lives.
All right. So let's
The life
share
update.
and let's talk about what God has been doing in our lives.
Yeah, I know. So, what do you want to start with? So, I guess I want to say the reason why one of the biggest reasons why we paused this podcast was because I think one of the last episodes was us like we bought a house. I
No,
think
we
that's
never posted that one.
we never did.
Nope.
Okay, well that's like
Yeah,
a whole
yeah.
journey. But I think we had shared a little bit about it.
Mm-mm.
No?
We didn't talk anything about that.
Sheesh.
We recorded
Okay.
like 3 episodes, but then afterwards I was like, "Nah, we're not this is too raw. Like this is like this
You were
I
like
we need
right
to
in the
cook a
middle.
lot more." I think I was just venting more than anything in those episodes. So God did a lot. So right now you'll get the it's still raw, but it's
Yeah,
refined,
it's still
so
raw. Yeah.
I'm not toxic anymore.
And you'll know why right
I'm not,
now.
yeah.
Well, I guess we'll start with,
The
last
house.
year. Yeah,
To
last
the
year
house.
in a day after
No,
Christmas.
Milo, 2 years ago. Not last year.
What?
Last year was
No,
2025.
I'm talking about the house.
I know, but we bought it in 2024.
Wait, hold on. This is
Exactly. I
trippy.
know it is
Okay,
weird.
okay, okay, okay. Oh,
We're in
you're right. You're
26.
right. Okay.
Mhm,
Yeah, okay, okay.
mhm,
Yeah. So December 26, 2024.
mhm,
You're right. Wow.
mhm.
We got our keys. That was like our Christmas gift. And we were able to go and, I mean, the house guys, Pablo was going to have a before and after. We might, do it another time, but the house wasn't pretty. It had a lot of potential. When I went in, I was like, "Oh, like we can do so much here," and the first thing that came to my mind was like, obviously the kids, like, will they have space to run around and just be kids? But then my other, you know, vision or picture that I got was like, can we host a lot of people here? Because our hearts is always to host and to not just our family, but we have our local marriage group that we meet once a month. So the house had to feel like, okay, we can host this group. So when I stepped into the house, Pablo wasn't with me. It was just my brother-in-law because he was our realtor. Um, David Aguilar, if anybody, and Josh Aguilar, the Aguilar brothers, if anyone is looking for a realtor out there. They're amazing people, but I went with him and I was like, God, is this a house? And I had a friend who was like, Abby, you'll know. Like the moment you step into the house, you'll know that that's your house. And we had seen few houses already before that one, like maybe not that many though.
Mm.
But anyway, yeah, so I stepped in and I was like, I feel like this is a house. And it didn't have a lot of traction because the house was pretty like beat up. It was, you know, I think it only had like 2 owners or something, but it was a rental, so it wasn't really taken care
It had
of.
been a rental for 8 years. So,
No, longer.
really?
Yeah, it was
Oh, okay.
longer.
It was just like you didn't wanna sit on the ground because the carpet was disgusting. Just the whole house was gross. Like
Yeah.
you don't wanna take your family,
There's shower in
uh,
those bathrooms.
and, have them shower in this house in the current condition because
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah,
good.
so, yeah, so, I mean, obviously, it was a whole thing even that in itself, like, the way we got it at first, the seller was like, "No, we don't we're not gonna give it to you for that price." And then, 'cause, we asked for a lower price for the asking price, and then, like, 2 days after, he called us saying, "Never mind," like, "Do you still want it?" So we got into the house, we had to remodel it. That whole process was insane. I think, guys, I think I gained like 8 pounds for that whole
Mhm.
process, and I wasn't pregnant, so that was just I think it was just the whole remodeling thing is just very stressful. We've never gone through anything like that, and it's funny because people did warn us, like, "Just make sure you guys are fine," like, because remodeling is crazy. We had to live in a hotel for, like, about
3 months.
3 months,
No, it
no,
was
like,
2
3
months.
weeks.
Oh, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
I guess
For Pablo, it seemed
it felt
like
like
it
3
was
months.
3 months. I'm like, "No, I don't think I would survive 3 months there," but it was like yeah, it was like about like, yeah,
A
like 3
month.
weeks, a
Yeah, 3
month.
weeks, a month.
Um, and I mean, the kids thought it was so fun, they
Mm,
were having a blast, but I was like, "No, this is not fun."
miserable.
But it was a hard season, we didn't have a kitchen for some time, and we were eating out a lot, and that was a whole thing too. So, um, that said, like, we didn't really have a lot of time to be doing podcasts and other things. A lot of things were on pause. Actually, a lot of ideas that Pablo had, like for business, for just different things, were on hold all last year, and I think it was like a forced break for us in a way, in different areas to just reevaluate a lot of things too, how we want to do this year. Um, Whether it's in finances, with the kids, and ministry, whatever it was, like I think God really did have to, I don't know, I feel like that. He like position us again, like reposition us to what we're gonna do in 2026.
Yeah. I'm giving you space to talk about like your journey because I want to talk about my journey, which is totally different than
Totally
yours.
different.
So are you done?
I'm done. I mean, I
Oh,
think we can fill in.
okay. All right. So my journey is completely different, guys. Like I hated this house. Honestly, like this to me was at the beginning of the year, in my mind, the worst financial decision I had ever made. And you hear people say, like, yeah, Pablo, everybody feels like that when they first buy their house. And everybody feels like that because it's, you're buying something, big. And it's like when you buy a car, you're like, you feel that regret right after you leave the lot. You're like, did I make the right decision? But genuinely, guys, I would walk into my house and I hated it. Like I would wake up and I would hate it. And I would be like, this was the worst thing I could ever do because see, for me, I know that God has given me um and I've gotten better at building businesses. And for me, my whole thing was I invested every okay, look, flipping homes and remodeling homes, all that is fun. It's
When it's
very
not
fun.
the house
It's
you're
very fun.
living in.
No, no, no. Not only
Oh,
not only when it's not the house you're living in, because it is fun and it's like, it's like, oh, it's so cool. By the way, Gabby, man, my goodness, we found out Gabby's an amazing designer, guys. Like I was looking forward to making this video, like a before and after, but
yeah.
Gabby has such an eye for design. I'm so proud of you. Like you're just how you've been able to develop yourself even as a designer and speaking with contractor and making decisions and being like this and that. So I thought that was really cool. So all of this is really fun until you run out of money. And remember how I just told you I started level -15, now I'm at level 0. So hundreds of thousands, multiple hundreds of thousands, guys, at this level, at level the level that I'm at. I'm not a super rich guy with millions and millions of dollars yet. I will be, but just not yet. So right now, being put on pause sucks. And it sucked because for me, I felt like I missed it. I felt like, dude, we had all this money. And not only did we invest the whole thing on this house, but now our profits, all of our profits for last year had to come in because, bro, what are you going to do? Start a new business or are you going to finish the kitchen that you need to cook at your house? You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, the whole year I was just battling with frustrations and guys, like even like that hatred towards the house, low key wanted to come towards my wife because I was like, dude, you made me do this. Like, like, like you wanted a house, and now we got the house, but I feel now like I'm stuck and like I missed it. And for us historically, all the businesses that we own, the majority of businesses that we own are all around real estate. Okay. Now, real estate is feast or famine. It really is. It's either you have really good years or your years are just not that good. Never mind. I can't even say that because God has blessed us with a really stable and strong business. The problem is this, guys. When you're used to making this much money, you have your expenses be up here. Okay. But if they drop 30, 40%, you could still manage, especially for people that came from -15, bro. We can make it manage. We've been way worse.
Yeah.
That is still a lot more than nothing, you know what I'm saying? Or than -15. So um we were still okay. We're still fine. But uh being the age that I am right now, having this like building and building, we're gonna do like having this mindset, like it was very tough for me last year. And like I said, historically, in December, we have a typically slower month because nobody wants to sell their home in December. And so that is just when everything came to a like for me personally, like it reminded me of the bad decision that I
Yeah.
thought I had made before. But what this unlocked for me, now we know that God works everything for the good for those who love him, been called according to his purposes. We know that it was really interesting. I was hearing one of my friends do this podcast, and he was saying how money can actually be negative in your life if you use money to insulate yourself from like if you have a lot of money, you're able to insulate yourself from problems.
Mm.
Okay. So let's say that because money solves a lot of problems, it
Yeah.
does. If you have money, you don't have too many problems. You have some problems, but you don't have many problems. Um,
External, maybe.
External, but maybe like even internal, like like there's yes, I get it.
I
Like
beg to differ,
uh,
but yeah.
in different areas, yes, I agree. In different areas, but what I'm saying is what I was hearing in this podcast is when you have money, you can insulate yourself, but God works in your character through problems and through
Yeah.
adversity. Okay,
Trials.
what's that verse that says,
Peter.
is it Peter or is it
James.
can you help me look it up, Charles or Meta? That trials produce
Perseverance.
yeah,
It's First Peter.
yeah, can you help me look it up? Maybe put it up on the screen.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we were sharing yesterday, last night with our marriage,
Yeah.
with the marriage group, and I think that brought so much breakthrough.
Well, my point is this, and I'm just kind of tracking everything that happened last year with the whole house thing. Okay, we ran out of money that we had allocated for this rebuild. It created a lot of tension in me, but this tension, okay, I couldn't insulate myself and I couldn't pay my way out of it. So, what did the Lord show me in that? But I do want to share that verse. If not, she can look it up, but I'll keep going.
There
It
it
was
is.
it was okay, there it is. Let's see. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. Okay,
Mhm.
go to the next one. Um,
I think
verse
it's the
3.
First Peter one that
No,
you're
no, this is
looking
good.
for. That it
This,
produces character and
yeah, that one.
perseverance. It's in
Let me
First
see.
Peter.
For you know, when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. Yeah, you're right, baby. It's the other one.
It's
It's
First Peter.
yeah,
I
it's
think
First
it's
Peter.
First Peter 5 or
Yeah,
something like
First
that.
Peter. So it was one of those days where I was just it had resurfaced. Everything had resurfaced, and I was like,
I mean,
yeah,
if we want to go to it
go.
resurfaced, I think a lot of the frustrations. I mean, yeah, Pablo and I had two complete different journeys on this. I think because okay, so for those who don't know, in 2024, our landlord, who we still love and we still have a good
Oh, I love her
relationship with
so
her,
much. Yeah,
we might actually have her on the podcast.
yeah.
Um,
Why did you do
you know,
that?
why did you kick us out? No, but she had told us, hey guys, it's time. We were there for about 4 years on
Mhm.
this beautiful home that we were renting. We were so comfortable. It was an amazing house, almost 46 square feet,
4,600 square feet, like almost 5,000 square
almost
feet.
5,000 square feet
Mhm.
home.
Big old lot. Like,
Huge
yeah,
backyard.
yeah.
Pablo built a zip line over the pool. The kids had a tree house. Like we had chickens. I mean, we were,
Trampolines,
yeah, we were
pool,
living our best life
basketball
there.
court. Yeah, different
Yeah.
things.
And we were able to host the parties that we wanted and all that. But, it came a time where our landlord was like, hey, you guys have to get out. So I was like, okay, I took it as this is the opportunity for us to have our own house because I knew our assignment was families. And I knew that like we couldn't live in a place where we're gonna keep getting like kicked out and kicked out and kicked out. So for me, I was like, okay, God, is this the opportunity for us to get a home? I received a yes when I shared it with you. You were on board, or you pretended to be on board. I don't know what happened.
I just wanted to make you happy, baby.
Oh, okay. So, we got excited. We started looking, and just how things happen though happened really fast for us.
Mhm.
Like not even a month. from when we started. I mean, and that was like unheard of. It's unheard of. Like
Mhm,
we know people who've been looking for months and
mhm,
they had not found anything. But I think we only did like, I don't know, like we didn't even have a pre-approval letter or something.
mhm,
Like, and we were
mhm,
already looking. Um, so I think it I felt like it was God. He gave us promise, but he did give me Joshua where it said like this is still like going to be a conquering season. It's still going to be a season of battles. So, I think what happened for Pablo, as you know, you're saying it resurfaced because I saw, the frustrations and the outbursts and stuff like that. I think this also hit a nerve in you of like, it's going to sound not like I'm mocking, but like daddy issues,
mhm,
like a lot of like orphan spirit stuff that came out, that
mhm.
because I mean, when you started doing that closet in the beginning of the year, you were like upset at that closet. I'm like, dude, like calm down. But it was like deeper things in you that I think God was
Mhm.
like, He used this whole journey to also take more stuff out of you that like you were saying, toxic things.
Well, the story was, because part of the closets, we were getting, like, these ridiculously high quotes,
Yeah.
and I mean,
Well, that's a whole different
but I'll tell
lesson
you
too
what,
that we
they
went
weren't
through.
ridiculous because that's just what it cost, okay? I'm not gonna say, "Oh, you should charge less because, I can't afford what you're like, that I think that's dumb, so it costs what it costs, okay? Either I
It
can
was
afford it or I
but it
couldn't.
was out of our
So I'm
budget.
like, "Okay, well, I'll do them myself." All right? Especially, the type of closets that I want, but the first one that I built was like a very simple. It wasn't anything nice. Like I'm saying nice, like because now I know how to build nice closets. I
Okay.
like them. I think they're pretty nice. Um, I was building this thing and I just kept messing up. And I kept messing up. And then I had to take take everything down. So there was one day where I was just very upset because I had made a mistake and I had to start over with everything. So I grabbed the hammer and I just started going to town on this closet. I was like, I started demoing,
Yeah.
like demoing, demoing. And then Gabby comes in. She's like, "You're crazy. What are you doing?" What? what this? What this? Like Gabby's saying, yeah, daddy issues. Yeah, for sure. Like 100%. A good father should show you and tell you, okay, look, son, this is what you're about to face. It's okay that you don't know these things, but here are little tips. Here are a few pointers. Here are a few things that have worked for me. Not only that, but if I went deeper, because that was earlier in the year, later in the year, in December, when I was going through what I was going through, a friend called me and
Last year,
last year, yeah,
2025.
a
Yeah.
friend called me and he's like, "Look, bro, few things that I learned in my conversation with him." He just called me out of the blue, and he's a very successful business owner, very successful young guy, and he was telling me, "Pablo, it sounds like you bought affirmation. It sounds
Mm,
like you spent all this money to buy affirmation for yourself." And he's like, "And I'm not throwing you any shade, bro, because I've done the same thing a lot, and I've done it with millions of dollars."
mhm.
Like, I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this because deep inside, if I have this, now I'm legit. Now I'm valid." And I could honestly say that part of the reason why um that was happening is, yeah, because I would see myself as a business owner and certain level of success there. But deep inside me, I was like, dude, unless I have a house, I'm not legit. Unless I own my own property, I'm not legit. Um, and so he helped me realize, like, I think I bought myself affirmation. But I like the way that he said it. He's like, "Look, bro, don't feel bad because, I've done that, and, it kinda works for to a certain extent, but then there's problems with that because that you can't buy yourself affirmation all the time. You gotta get it from Lord." But see, it's one thing, like, to say it all, like, religiously and say, "No, I get my affirmation from God." But when you don't have something or when somebody says that you don't have something,
Yeah.
then you're like, then it bothers you, then it upsets you. Like, "Oh, well, why haven't you accomplished this?" Or, "Oh, well, why haven't you have this many kids?" Or, "Why don't you have, this many houses?" Or, "Why don't you have
Yeah.
this?"
I mean, yeah, for sure. I think I went through that maybe 3 years before we bought a house.
Mhm,
Um, because I mean, unfortunately, we would hear comments like that. as well. Like people would say, like, aren't you guys successful business owners? Like, why don't you guys have a house? And then people would go into like a rental and be like, is this your house? It's like, no, we're renting. Oh, you're renting.
And
So,
it was a really
you know,
nice house, so it would make me feel like very like insecure and be
yeah,
like, no, I'm renting. It doesn't belong to me. I'm just,
yeah.
I'm renting it.
I'm just here like pollo comprado, but like, but again, yeah, it's something that I know the Lord dealt also with me, like, and I went to the word. So God was like, what's success, Gabby? Like, do I say being successful is owning a house, being a homeowner? And he took me to the word in Matthew 7. And, it's like, no, like I'm a provider and these are the things that I provide. The other things that you want, they're extra stuff. The house, the career, the business, all that's the extra stuff that it says seek my kingdom first and its righteousness and everything else will be added. So I took it like this is the time for our extra, right? Now it came with battles, right? It's like I think I think it's such a good point to even dwell on a little how you're going to get blessings from the Lord, but a lot of the times the enemy's going to fight those blessings too. He's not going to just let you have it. Owning a house, we're the first in our generation, in
Mhm.
our family to own a home, and I take that as like a huge breakthrough. I mean, owning a house right now, we're going to get into all this like data, you know, like like how much it is to have a decent lifestyle here, in California.
You know what?
Like,
Let's get into. I think that's
yeah,
a good segue.
like owning a house here in California
Mhm,
and here in LA,
mhm,
it's crazy, right?
mhm.
Like right now, more than ever, we're hearing stuff on the news, like the housing,
Yeah.
everything that's happening, how, they want to lower the rates and why to just make it affordable for
Mhm,
millennials
mhm,
or I think 30s or Gen Zers, right? I always
mhm.
get that mixed up. Yes.
What is it here?
Um,
Speak on the
speaking
mic.
of Mike, this is our Gen Zer.
Hey
Oh,
guys.
put yourself on the camera. By the way, I'm so sorry. I'm so rude. I'm so rude. I forgot to introduce our crew. You guys have a camera, by the way.
We do.
I forgot to introduce my crew. This is Shirley, who has been with us for
Hey
so
Hey.
guys.
many years.
8 years.
Mirari has been a longtime friend of
Yeah.
ours. And keep the camera on, you guys. Don't be shy. Come
She's
on.
like, "Nope."
I gotta introduce you guys. So
So
that is
So
who they are.
Gen
But
Zers are how old?
I'm 28. I'm gonna be 29 this year. We're 1997. We're the eldest of Gen Z, so
Got
we're
it.
the last.
So 30 or so
So
millennials.
30s are the youngest millennials. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah. So if here like our I found this stuff on, online, but the median
can we post it? Put it.
uh
Do they have it?
I have the little chart right there that says typical median age of first time buyers.
All right.
You have it on the notes.
Yeah.
You can screenshot that and probably put it up, but it's getting delayed.
Yeah.
Every I don't know how often it gets delayed. Before it was like when you were 30, you were buying your first house. We bought our first house mid 30s.
Well, because think about it, love. Like, okay, if you want to, guys, all right, let's say you're a family of four, and that's what we're gonna focus. Like, we're moving on to our 2026 monthly budget family of four. Okay. Let me first establish
Yeah, go
that.
ahead.
So go ahead and before you show us that, Meta, why don't you go ahead and show us the monthly budget family of four? Let's break this down because that's part of all of this. But before you talk about a house, you got to talk about the other needs that people have, like food,
Yeah.
groceries.
That's why I say just to,
Yeah,
to own a house, that's an extra.
this is such a huge thing,
That's like
guys.
an extra thing.
This is such a huge thing, and right now it's a huge thing for every millennial,
Yeah.
dude. Like you'll see the numbers right now. Okay, according to ChatGPT, a family of four in 2026. Okay, to just do the things. I don't know if these are the basics, but okay, it's saying
Some
housing.
things people opt, like
Okay, okay,
healthcare and all
okay.
that.
Then let's break this down, baby. Housing, which is rent or mortgage, it's saying for a family of four. How
Yeah.
many bedrooms is that?
That's
That's
like
two,
2,
maybe three. Let's just
maybe
say three
3.
bedrooms. Okay. I know you'll make it manage with two. Shoot, man. My family, when I was younger, we managed 8 people
Well,
inside of a
well, that's the
bedroom.
thing that some people are sacrificing, right? Like some people that
Mhm.
are a family of 5 only have 2 bedrooms
Mhm.
and all their kids are in 1 bedroom,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So
So, okay, is it fair to say if you have family of 4, you're paying between 35 to
I
$5,000?
probably would say like 28. Like
28.
start with 2,800, I
In some
think.
places, maybe 25. Okay, so
Yeah.
we can shave off 1,000 there. But
Yeah.
again, it's with the sacrifices.
Yeah.
If you're paying $2,500 in rent, you have a family of
This is
4,
to be comfortable, I guess,
you're
right?
probably sacrificing
Yeah.
some space, and you're like, Pablo, we're just making it work, bro. We all the kids obviously
Yeah.
sleeping in the same room.
Yeah.
Or they're sleeping in the living room. I don't know, different
And
figuring it
there's
out.
no shame in that. There's seasons
100%.
for all of that. But we're just trying to
100%.
break down like what's comfortable,
Yeah.
like to live just a
Yeah.
comfortable life.
Now to the point that you were saying, if you want to buy a house, okay, around there, you'll probably for a condo, I don't know, you're looking at probably 600,000,
It's
600,000
like
to
a
800,000. How much is that
4,500.
mortgage?
I would say like 4,500 a month.
Nah, baby. Are
More?
you sure? I think it's a little more. I think
45
it's
to
okay,
55?
fine. Let's just call it anywhere between 45 to 6 grand.
Really?
Yeah, depending on how your credit
Sheesh.
is, depending on how much you put down, depending on all that stuff. So
Yeah.
on the high end, I say you're probably paying about 6 grand, and on the low end, I would say between 4 grand. Okay, so that alone, that's like okay, that's right there. So that's right around those
Yeah.
numbers. If you're like have a mortgage, you're probably close to the 5 to 6,000. If you're renting and just figuring it out, making it work, surviving between 25 to 35. I think that's fair to say. Food and groceries for the whole month, love, family of 4, 1,200 to
For
1,600.
maybe a little less. I
Yeah,
think
you can make it work.
ChatGPT made it. Yeah. I think they added a little bit more
Yeah.
to it, but I think a little less, but it is expensive. You're talking
Okay.
about like maybe $800, a
$800 a
month.
month. Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, groceries have gone up a lot. The eggs. I mean, last time
Yeah.
we went to buy like
Yeah.
I think it was 12
Yeah.
or I don't know. Was it 12?
I forgot, but it was
But
expensive.
it was like $15. I was like $15.
I was
I'm
like, thank
like,
God for my
what?
chickens.
I'm
I
like,
have
that's
chickens.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Transportation, what is that? Your car payments and all of that. That's fair.
Yeah,
That
I know.
800
Yeah.
to $1,200
Insurance
for
is
two cars.
expensive.
Two cars
Yeah.
because you like you
And there's a lot of people that actually don't have insurance here in California. A lot of people are driving without insurance because it's
Yeah.
so expensive.
To me, I learned my lesson, guys. Like, look, if you don't have insurance, get your insurance, guys. Like, that's the worst. Like
Yeah.
getting into a car crash or not being insured. Hey, man, you got that is a worth
Yeah.
investment. Okay, let's see. You have your healthcare insurance, 800 to 1,200. I guess this is if you don't.
Yeah, I mean that varies. I mean,
It's a little high
it's
because
a little high
I mean I understand like if you're a business
if you're a
owner,
business owner.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably a little bit more. Well, maybe a lot. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for that type of family, yeah, that makes
But
sense.
if you work for a company and stuff like that, I think it's a little less.
Childcare, $1,000 to $2,000. Is that about fair?
Childcare is expensive. Even, I mean, I know here in California, there's a lot of government help, where they help you like grants and stuff where they help you pay your daycare right now. It's a very hot topic.
Yeah. So, okay. The point is this, guys. The reason why we're going over this is the following. Okay. You have your taxes, insurance, savings. We can skip over that. All right. The whole point of that is, oh, I'm sorry. What's the final number? So what do you need a year? What's that? What is that figure? Total estimated monthly budget is
Like
9,800 to almost $15,000, bro. That's crazy. How much is that a year? How much is for family of 4? That's really high numbers, dude. Maybe I don't believe it, or maybe I don't know. Families of 4, like, are you guys paying this much? This is crazy.
Or is that like maybe it's a little bit inflated, or maybe it's like no, maybe $2,000 less or $3,000
so that's
less.
Milo. That means that between a family, in the household, you need to be bringing in about 120 grand to like 150 grand as a family together. That means that you have a job that pays anywhere between 60 to 75K, and I have a job that pays anywhere between 60 and 75K. To just, we went over the numbers.
Pay your bills.
Just pay your bills, just do your thing, just do it. Now you see, guys, like, bro, listen, this is such a big mountain for
Yeah.
us, and at the same time we're trying to build our marriage,
Yeah.
meaning we want to have date nights, we
Yeah.
want to have time for conversation, we want to connect and have that time.
Yeah.
We want to connect with our children, take them on little dates with them, like
Yeah.
maybe go on a family vacation, because that is important, man. Like
Yeah.
getting out of here, the rat race, and just going out and
Yeah.
we want to do all these things. You need money.
Yeah.
You need money.
Yeah.
And so I think what happens is that, dude, it becomes it can become all about the money.
Mm-hmm.
It can become
Oh,
all
for
about
sure.
like, dude, we gotta, I know you have needs, I have needs, our children have needs, but money's everything.
Yeah.
And if we don't have money, then blank. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's
Yeah.
break that down.
But I think that's what, added to the frustration, I think, that when you're not walking also in that peace and that rest and that revelation of God's word and even God's season for your life, because a lot of times we've had to wait. I mean, we had to wait for a lot of things, that required a lot of, money. And I know that why we built businesses for us, one of the main things why we built it's to have more of like that freedom, right? Like that
Mhm.
time, like time for us is like very important to have because we have so many things that we've wanted to do with like our kids, but also like our church and just different things, So for us, building a not just one business, but couple businesses was very important. Is it easy? No, it's not.
Well, because when you say it like that, Milo, like, oh, just you need money, just build a business. Like it's not,
No,
it's not like that. Like
no,
and
it's
like you're
been a
saying, it
whole
waits.
like
And
process.
it is a whole process,
Yeah.
because it's all right. If you want that to happen, okay, but be ready to invest everything you have. Be ready to invest a bunch of time. If it's your first business, get ready to like leave your 40-hour a week job to make less and work now 80 hours a
Yeah.
week. Okay. And work, go through a season of that. And then in time, if you did the right things and if you treated people right, and there's a whole thing in that, then maybe you will have a
Yeah.
business that then you can say this about.
Yeah, but I also think there has to be a bigger purpose. Like it can't just be like because I want to have a good life and just fund all my fun activities and like
Mm.
we had purpose behind it and I think even the spiritual part behind it. It was God like we want to be people one that we break out of poverty. That was like the first thing we wanted to
And
do.
that's number one.
And two, like
Can we wait there on
yeah.
that number one? Okay, because I have a verse to share with that. And look, listen, I just if you are like us, how we were, and we're like, dude, we're just in this like vicious cycle of poverty, bro. Like I feel like money's never like this is always an issue for me. I want to share a verse with you that really helped me out. Because I thought, look, if you guys we were four brothers. Okay, so there's four of us: my mom, my dad, and my grandma. Because we had her, and she was living with us. All of us came into. I guess I think what happened is that the government stopped helping us out or stopped paying our rent because we were, the Section 8 program, or I don't know if it was Section 8. It was something government. Government was paying for our housing, and they were doing it for years. Okay, so and I'm talking about like maybe 13 years, something like that. But then the complex that we were in, I don't even think I've told you this, love. They stopped. They stopped.
I've
Yeah.
never heard this before.
Okay. Well, we grew up in this place, and it was, a nice little community out in Santa Clarita. And I guess they accepted Section 8. But I think it came to a moment where they stopped accepting
Mm,
Section 8, meaning that um, the government wasn't paying for our
right.
home. And so then naturally my parents couldn't afford it. And so then we were scrambling to find a place. And in that time, someone from church offered to let us stay
House you.
inside of their house us inside of their one of their bedrooms that they had. So
Yeah, that I did know.
yeah. So but that's what led us there.
Oh, okay.
And so all seven of us were I just remember a bunch of mattresses and like sheets on the floor. Like
Yeah.
that was our living quarters for I think close to about like almost a year.
Mm,
Um if not year, a half a year. I don't know what it was, but that's where we were, right? So And then from there we went on to other situations, but then kind of always relying on government
Mhm.
assistance and government
Mhm.
help. Now I have thoughts on that as well. Like, listen, what government assistance and government help, I think is a huge blessing, and I am so grateful because I had a roof over my head when I was
Right.
younger. Okay, now my that's my thankfulness. Okay, now my con for that is, listen, bro, um we're not supposed to depend on that.
Live on that
And I think that's the
forever.
problem. I think the problem is when you're like, okay, I have this form of assistance. And look, this can be in the form of like help from our parents. If you have parents that have a little bit of money and they're like, you know what, I'm going to help you your first year of marriage. I'm going to help you. You're falling on hard times. I don't think we should ever be in a position where we're like, we're not going to take help from anyone. Like, no, I'm not taking help from. I think that that's just prideful. And listen, if you're going through a hard time or
Yeah,
hard moments, and there are programs or things that are able to help you
for
out,
sure.
bro, take advantage.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
if you're struggling and you're like, and there's an assistance or whatever, and you
yeah,
just don't want to sign
yeah.
up, like, no, I don't want to get food stamps, or they
Right.
don't call it that anymore. What they call it? They call it that.
EB.
Is it EBT now? No, I thought it was something else
No, it
too.
is. It's
Okay,
EB.
EBT.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't want to get like WIC program, like,
I
all of
mean,
this
we
stuff.
went through that.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I took
Our
that for we
first
took that for like
child's
6 months.
yeah,
Yeah.
first, baby, we didn't have
Mhm.
Medi-Cal I mean, healthcare, we didn't have
Mhm.
all that, so, yeah, we took Medi-Cal
Mhm.
and we did it for a few months
Yeah.
until the business started
A
making money.
and I get it, dude. Like, it is embarrassing. Like, I remember we would go to we would go to the oh, you got to fix the cameras a little bit to the sides. We would go to the store, and like I would go really late at night because I was embarrassed to pay with like my things
I
because it
know.
takes forever. So
Yeah.
like,
To
you're
get the
legit.
formula and all that?
No, not to get the formula, but the cashier takes forever to
Oh,
process everything because
yeah.
they gotta like document or do whatever.
Oh,
And then there's people behind you, and you're like,
oh.
ah,
Yeah,
dude, that's embarrassing.
so we've gone through that.
So my
Yeah,
point is that it's okay to take that, but the problem is
when you
when
stay
you
on it.
depend on it and you stay on it.
Yeah.
And so, see, we stayed for many, 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 many years. And what happens is that now, check this out. Just how I said that wealth and riches is an insulation
Yeah.
against problem. Well, guess what? Poverty and
Same thing.
that
Yeah.
assistance is also an insulation.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Do you understand?
Yeah, it's
Like,
like the 2 extremes.
dude,
Yeah.
it's like the two.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that right now. Like, it's so true because you can insulate yourself with these government assistance programs, and I mean, thank God we live in a country that's able to do that. But dude, instead of building up your first of all, your like, man, sense of worth, and like and that then therefore moves you to build your skill sets,
Yeah.
that moves you to like be able to
Yeah.
bring a set of value, something to
Right.
the world
Right.
and to the marketplace that
Yeah.
then you can get paid from.
Yeah, I was and the reason why we're sharing these numbers, guys, is not to, like, do a party, what
Pity
is it?
party.
Pity party and be like, "Oh, man, it sucks living here. You have to" "What? Oh my god." No, we're not aligning ourselves with that attitude. The reason why we're showing you these numbers, it's because yes, we see the reality of things, but one thing that, Pablo and I are still learning, we're learning as we go. It's like not aligning yourself to everything right now, all the noise that's going around, which is, it's too expensive to live here. I've heard crazy things about what people say about California. Like, dude, this state is going down. Like, I mean, they'll use even worse wording and language, like cursing California, saying California is done. That like it's gonna be hell there. It's already there. Like crime. All so we're coming and saying, yes, this is the reality of things. We can't deny it, right? But then it's like, okay, well, what is God saying to
Mhm.
us? What is God saying to you? You who are living here in California, you who are here in Los Angeles, we want to encourage you. You're a believer. You have access to the word of God. You have access to God. You have access to his wisdom. Job says that like all understanding, all wisdom, all knowledge belong to him. So what we're trying to share here is we knew, we can't depend on the government, you know, because we had to for a while. Because, Pablo's business wasn't making money yet and he couldn't find a job. So we're like, dude, I mean, our kid is going to starve if we don't get on WIC or whatever. So we did for a while, but then God started downloading ideas and
Mm,
strategies and wisdom
mhm,
to Pablo and like when it came to business. And like, I love what you're saying about just knowing that God, like, dude, he can do it with you too.
mhm,
I was listening to somebody, I don't know, one of our friends sent this thing and they were saying like I think they were saying their testimony how they were like, broke and they became a stripper and then, they became I think a porn star afterwards and they were getting like 40,000 a month, off of that or $20,000 a month, I'm sorry. And in my mind, I was like, man, that's what poverty mindset does to you. Like, you don't see your worth. You don't see how God has like handpicked you to live for such a time as this in California, in LA. It's not a coincidence. And, but because we lack faith, because we lack, you know, uh, even like we get lazy and we don't want to connect with God, we don't want to seek Him intentionally that we just go to the easy things, the taking off your clothes, like whatever it is, and we think that's real wealth. It's like, no, like only if you knew your value. I was thinking when I
mm,
was watching this, I'm like, if only if you knew I'm sure this woman had like such a skill set of some
mhm,
kind
mhm,
to start a business,
mhm,
to start a business that didn't require her taking off her clothes. But because that poverty mindset tells you you're a
mhm.
victim
And this is the easy way out. You're gonna take it.
and cut corners,
Yeah.
lie on this, lie
Mhm,
for this, to get
mhm,
this.
mhm,
And this is in the church. This is, I'm
mhm.
not even talking about the
Well,
world.
well, because even baby, like think about it. Okay, when you are on, I'm just reminding all these things, remembering all these things, dude. When you're on the okay, when the government's paying for your housing, what happens is that every year you have to fill out this paperwork. Okay, and at first I did, like when you're young, you don't know why you do, why you do what you do. But you're filling out this paperwork and you have to sign. And as soon as I turned 18, I had to start doing the same thing. And when I was 18, I was like, why am I signing this? I don't know. Go and sign that paperwork. So I'm signing the paperwork. But then like 2 years passed by and now I'm like 19, 20, 21. And I started naturally starting to get jobs. Okay. But then it gets to a point where either you have to lie and say, I'm not making that money. Cause now if you're making that money, then the government's like, oh, you don't need help anymore.
Yeah.
Like, oh, because good, you're
Yeah.
you're grown. But then you're like, no, I gotta lie because if not, then it's gonna affect my
They're gonna
parents,
kick
and then
me
I'm
out.
not gonna pay rent. And then if I do, then they kick me out of the house, and
Yeah.
then they do all that stuff.
And
So
it's a vicious cycle and
yeah,
it's a generational cycle.
that's what I'm saying. So okay, so what happens is this: we got kicked out of that other one when we were younger, but then we signed up to another one, and then on this one, you have to fill out that paperwork and you have to be like, hey, do you still qualify to
Yeah.
basically live here?
Be there.
Basically, they're asking, are you still poor? Like,
Yeah.
are you still going on hard times?
Yeah.
Okay, so it gets to the point, babe, like where I've heard of cases, and I was among that myself, where they say, oh, just don't report that. Just don't say that you make that.
Yeah.
It gets to the point where
Yeah.
some people, Milo, they say, you know what? This person's offering me a job, but I'm not going to take it because if I take it, I'm going to risk losing my government assistance.
Yeah.
Bro, I
Yeah.
can't, as a believer
Yeah.
in Christ, like as a person that goes to church and as a person that has had experiences, has received Jesus inside that, I can't understand how you can parse these two together. I understand it because it's generational and it's a mindset. But what we're doing right now is we're saying you don't have to be like that. And let me tell you the verse. Let
Yes.
me tell you the verse where that's at. Deuteronomy 8:18. All right. It says, but remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth and so confirms his covenant, which he swore to your ancestors as it is today. You got to read the
Yeah.
whole context. But what I want you to understand here is that what the Bible says is that he gives you the ability to produce
Yeah.
wealth, meaning that you're not meant to be a bum. There's another verse that says, I have not seen a righteous man forsaken or his
Yes.
generations begging for bread.
Amen.
What does that tell me? That tells me that God created me, every individual person. I don't care who this is, who's watching this, God created every individual person with an ability to create wealth. He
Yes.
gave you the mind of Christ. He gave
Yes.
you a certain skill set, a
Mhm.
certain ability that
Yes.
then you bring to the marketplace to make the market better, to help somebody else's life in
Yeah.
some way,
Yeah.
and that ends up helping you.
Yeah.
So listen, this is not like, oh, well, he gave me an attractive body, and so like now I'm going to sell my body. No, he gives you the power to create wealth in a righteous way.
Yes. Yes. And I think that as, you're speaking right now, I can just feel the faith going forth. Um and if you're a male watching this, your husband, your young man watching this, like just know that you can. Like you can start like that business idea that you have. And I really know and I strongly believe that God is raising up small business owners more than ever in this hour. Like, because guys, like being a business owner, man, like your faith in like it just has to grow. Like you don't have a choice. Like you are stretched in ways. God shows up in so many different ways that you're like, what? God, like your love, like his love and his favor is revealed to you in so many ways, his faithfulness, his mercy. But I just know that like us even speaking right now, I just perceive and I see how people right now are listening to this and like that victim mentality is even broken off of you
Mm.
because maybe you haven't had someone to tell you, yeah, you can do it. You have the ability to produce wealth. I don't say it. Pablo's not saying it. The Bible's saying it. The word of God, who's proven to be true over and over and over and over, is saying you have the ability to produce wealth. Now, will it take time? Of course, it's biblical. Like if you get rich fast, or if you get wealthy fast, hey, it's going to grow out wings and fly away. So you don't want the process to be like so fast, but in the journey, in the process, these 12 years or 13 years, I forget how long Pablo and I have been business owners. Believe me, God will work it out in such a way where he's forming you, he's developing your care if you allow him, of course, if you allow him to polish you, purify you, refine you, detox you, take things at like I mean so much poverty mindsets that Pablo and I had, and we're still like discovering things that we're like, dude, that's a poverty mindset thing, that God is still like exposing in us. And guys, it is so important if you're in California, in Los Angeles, to understand this, that if you're living here and you want to succeed and you want your generations to succeed, you have to allow God to uproot all that poverty stuff inside of you. That especially like the first thing is a victim. I'm a victim. This happened to me. I can't do that because of this. And then you start blaming your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa. I mean, we can blame the world of why
I
we're
have
not
so
where
many
we
I
are.
have so many reasons, guys. Like if we get into it, like I check a lot of the boxes. I check a lot of the victim boxes. I legit, like, the experiences that I've had in my life, different things that have happened to me. I legit have reasons to
I
say,
mean, starting that you're Hispanic.
what's wrong with me being Hispanic, baby
No,
girl?
but I'm saying like that's
I
like
know
the
what you're saying.
first thing, like, well, you're Mexican, Pablo. But he's not
We're
Mexican.
all Mexican. Everyone's Mexican, So yeah, I'm not Mexican. I'm Salvadorian and Guatemalan, and proud of it.
I'm a
anyways,
Mexican.
anyways, you need 120K, between 120K to 160K for a family of four.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? That's the question.
Well,
What are you gonna do?
I
Are you
mean,
going to be a victim and be like, look, and I'll tell you this, man. Maybe your wife doesn't tell you this, but you'll put up with it for a time. Okay. You'll put up with it for a few years, but eventually it gets old. Eventually, not having things, like, and I'm not saying not having things because, it's just there's a, it depends, right? I'm not saying this is for everyone, but I'm saying if you are legit, like, you are able to work, like,
yeah, you're
you're
healthy, you're
healthy,
strong.
you're strong, you have, all the abilities to be able to get out there and do it. I'm not saying you're not going to have rough years and different things. I do want to share my little graph. But what I'm saying is it eventually gets old. It's like, all right, dad, I mean, it's been 10 years, pops,
Yeah.
like, husband, it's been 15
But
years
I
and we're
do
still
wanna
here.
say this, like, I think we were talking about it yesterday. I think our like, for instance, our parents, they went through so much, right? Sacrifices that they had to do. And, like, I know my mom couldn't have a lot of quality time with us because she had to work so much, to
Mhm,
pay the bills.
mhm,
Um, but now I feel like us, our generation, I'm 37, Pablo's 38, like our generation, we have such an amazing opportunity from God
mhm,
to just turn things around, to do things right, not in a greedy way, not in a way where we get obsessed with like being successful and like having the thing, having the car, having the house, having the brand shoes. No, I'm not talking, that's not success. That to me, that doesn't mean success. Um, but success to me is like being able to like, obviously pay bills and stuff, not living paycheck to paycheck, but where you could be that husband that is present, with
mhm.
his kids, with with his wife. That okay, yeah, you're working hard, and if you've modeled this to us, yeah. There's been a season where you probably all work, 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 but then you came out of that, thank God, and now like you're present, right? Like,
Mhm.
and you're very successful, but you're present. You make sure that you're home on time to be with us to eat. You're with the kids, you're playing with them, you're playing Nerf guns in the house with them, like hitting my mom sometimes, with the bullets. And I'm like, oh,
She
God.
got in the way. No, I'm
So
kidding. I'm
like,
kidding.
so it's possible, what we're trying to say here is that there is a way and everyone's going to look different. We're
Mhm.
trying not to encourage you like go make more money. And no, we're not saying that.
I am encouraging
No,
you to go
no,
make
but
more money,
no,
but
yeah,
understand
but
the heart behind it.
exactly,
I
that's what I was
want you
gonna
to make
say,
more money, bro. Look,
because
listen,
some people will just hear that.
but I don't care about
They'll just be
man.
like, "I'm
Then
gonna go make more money," and
then
then
be
they
broke.
forget about their wife, and
Then
they
be
forget
broke
about
and
their
religious.
kids.
What I'm saying is the impossible three. That's why you call it the impossible three, dude. Like we want healthy marriages, healthy children, and healthy finances. There's so much that goes into this. Hence why we have a podcast. We got to break a lot of this stuff down, right? We got to
Yes.
talk about
We
a lot of
we
these things.
feel the call to
But Milo,
to
m-
stand up
yeah,
and to say, "Hey, guys, no more."
it's
Like,
possible.
we could do it,
We can have all these three
Yeah,
things not at the expense of one another.
right.
You can have more money not at the expense of your marriage.
Yeah,
You can have a better marriage not at the expense of your children.
yeah.
All of these can work together if you have the proper systems in place, if you have the proper wisdom in place,
There's proper
okay?
accountability and
But
people.
guys, we just saw like the facts of the facts. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah,
What is that thing that the PVD's guy says? Says
I have no
numbers
idea.
scream. It says
Yeah,
words talk, numbers scream. Dude, the numbers tell you that you need 120 to 150 grand to have a comfortable life with a family of four. What are you gonna say? Like, no, it's true. Let me go pray some more. Like, bro, like that's the truth. If you don't have that much money, you can feel it. You can feel it on a
yeah,
monthly basis. So my point is this. My point is God has given you the ability to create wealth.
yeah,
Now, either you're going to be a victim or you're going to be lying on the little paperwork like,
yeah,
I used to have to do that when I was younger,
yeah,
okay? Or you're going to take responsibility and you're going to say, "No, dude, that business idea that I have, my generations depend on it.
yeah.
No, dude, that extra and it is going to require work. It
It's
is
gonna
going to
require
require
work, yes.
you're probably your first 2 years especially if you're coming from working for somebody to like now working for yourself, you're gonna have to fire that version of yourself and hire a different version of it's a whole thing. So maybe the first year you are gonna have to
Yeah,
have a little bit of pain and be like, man, I'm just getting adjusted to this,
yeah,
and it sucks because now I'm working so much longer. Now I have less time for my wife. Now I
yeah.
have less time for my
But
children.
what's important in those seasons is to always communicate.
Mhm.
Communicate your season, especially to your children, especially to your spouse. Like I know we've gone through those seasons where, you know, life happens and you're like, oh man, I have to work more or I have to do more things, at our community or whatever to step in. Like I know we've had to have certain conversations with their kids, like, "Hey guys, this year we're a little bit busier because we're establishing this and that, but this is what's happening." And then they don't resent it, because they understand like, "Oh, mom and dad are doing stuff, they're doing this and that," and we're like taking them with us on the journey. Not maybe physically, but like we're giving them updates, like
Mm,
it's not that we're like neglecting you guys or we don't want to be with you guys, but this is where mommy and daddy have to be for the next 2, 3 months,
mm,
So
mm.
it's there, guys, there's a way to live your life, no matter what is happening in your life, no matter like the craziness of it, like it's possible. It's possible to have a healthy marriage in that crazy life.
Like I know someone who's prospering a lot in their finances, but I'm like, I see different things and I see different like behaviors and I see different patterns. And I'm like, he's my friend. I got to sit down with him and I gotta say, you're doing great in your finances, bro. But like, in your marriage, I don't see you doing this. I've challenged you to do that. And are you doing that?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like you could be prospering here with your money, but you're not prospering in your marriage. You're
Yeah.
not prospering in with your children.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's unhealthy.
And at the end of the day, how I see it is, when I die, who are the people that I'm going to be able to take with me? Or what am I be able to take with me? And it's
Mm,
like my family, my
mm,
kids, like not
mm,
my business, not the
mhm,
things
mhm.
like, no, but my kids, I want them to be in heaven, my husband. So I think to me, that's like the bigger picture. It always
Yeah,
helps me to like
yeah.
come back.
Understand. So the reality is, okay, thank you, ChatGPT, for the facts that we need 120 to 150. If you're like, man, we're not making that or we're not making anywhere near that, what we're encouraging, we're saying, look, remember what Deuteronomy 8:18 says. It says that he has given you the power and the ability to create wealth. What does that mean? Breaking it down, that means that there are certain skill sets that maybe you have to develop. That means that there are you got to get better at something.
Yeah.
You gotta do something to increase your skill set to then be able to bring it to the marketplace. But I'll also say this, dude, we're doing this in California, specifically in the United States of America.
Right.
Our parents didn't sacrifice
Yeah.
so that we have all these opportunities here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so we have opportunities to grow, and we just want to encourage you to do it. And
Yeah.
so, listen, even if like a bunch of people get offended, but 5 people get offended, but then they're like, oh yeah, you know what, and I started to do this and I started this business, and you know what, and I did this, bro, it was worth it, and
Yeah.
we love that.
And we encourage you and we will continue to
Yeah,
encourage you and champion.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because then there's other levels. We just talked about that right now, but in the future we're going to be talking about. That's why you should listen to the podcast, because all right, so you start at this level where like have the business, but then now if you're at that level and it's like now the business has you, there's other conversations. But there's also levels of wisdom in terms of setting systems that we can talk about, and I can share things that I've done. Like right now, we have 3, 4 businesses that are running. We're here in the middle of the day doing this podcast because God has given us wisdom to be able to set up systems.
Yeah.
You see? So like there's different ways of doing things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not, oh, well, you taking advantage of different people. No,
Yeah.
it's you creating opportunities for different people, right? And so in collaboration, you can do very great things. And so we're going to
Yeah.
be breaking that down and talking about that in
Yeah.
future episodes. But I think it's a good time to move on to
Yeah.
AMA pregnancies.
Our pregnancy.
Um,
Well, that's another life update.
yeah.
That one, I'm like, that one. How do we start with that one? I think obviously like there's a lot of stuff that we want to talk about that I'm sure we're not gonna be able to cover today. We'll
I guess just
move on
talk
to
about your
the
experience. Like
yeah.
you've had. Let me ask you this question. Okay, you've had 4 children. The first
Mhm.
one you had when you were what,
As
26?
yes. I'm
26.
barely 26,
Okay,
yes.
the next one you had at what age?
No, 25. I was 25.
25. The
Yeah.
next one you had at
So I had
27
25.
or
Levi I
28?
had when I was 28.
28,
Hannah, I was 30.
30, and then Ben?
I was 32.
32. Okay, and AMA
It's
is considered
35 and over.
35 and over. So you had 4
Yeah.
non-AMA.
Non-old pregnancies.
So YMA? I don't know.
maternal age.
um,
Oh my gosh.
and then you had, and then now this one. So, what's your experience been like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your,
well, I think one thing for me, that's why I'm so excited to have our friends, Janet and Joshua in a couple weeks,
Mhm.
because she's amazing. She's like a spiritual doula. But she like, when I got pregnant with Judah, I was very intentional about having alone time with God. And I think that prepared me for all my pregnancies. Um, of because look, I mean, I don't know if it's a Hispanic culture thing, but like everybody comes and gives you their unsolicited advice, and you're like, okay,
and it's all based on their
and it's all
experiences,
based on
negative
fear-based,
experiences. Yeah.
stuff, and you're like, "What?" Like, okay, so I was already kinda trained, like, don't align yourself with that, don't listen to that. If that's not coming from the word, don't, like, reject it, So, since the beginning, since I started having kids, I that's been my mindset. I reject it. I do not listen to people that are gonna give me just bunch of blah, blah, blah. I mean, I even had someone ask me, like, "Was this an accident or was this planned?" I'm like, "What kind of question is that?" Like, like who comes up to
Like
you?
this
And this person I didn't really have a relationship with. So I was like,
like,
"What in the world?" Like, "You're married, dude. Like, what do you mean? Like,
yeah.
it's gonna happen." Um, I mean, so anyway, but so I had experience, where I've ho just I hold on to the word of God. That's been my experience, and then I end up having beautiful, just encounters with God and, like, the Lord shows me things about our kids and things like that, but I think for this one, I mean, I guess, w I'll share this where, the beginning of last year in January, we actually had a miscarriage.
Mm,
Not everybody knows this obviously because it's not something that we go around like, talking about, but uh I know that when after 35, or even in your early 30s, you're more prone
mhm,
to have miscarriage.
mm,
And it's because it sounds really weird, but this is what I was reading. It says like it's the quality of your eggs, right? So that's why the doctors and like they make it a big deal. Like you getting pregnant after 35, even like early 30s, it's a big deal because the quality of your eggs are not that great, It's not like the men. The men have like endless, I don't know, like you guys are always producing, those little guys. We're not. Like we are born with just a set of eggs and that's what you have. So that's why it's like a big deal for women, right? That have babies later on. But what's interesting, I mean, I was reading in this article that said actually first time moms are that are the age that of first time moms is like at the end of like their 30s. So like 38 between 38 and 40. So that's pretty cool. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Like women are actually not fearing that, they're like, "Oh, only because 'cause I'm 38, I'm not gonna have a kid." So that's amazing to me. Um, but I understand everything even in the beginning what we were talking about, a lot of delay why women are not having kids is because financially too, right?
mm.
So that affects.
Well, because now the 120 becomes 160 and
Well, yeah,
180
it
and
just keeps going up.
200,000. Yeah. So yeah.
But with this pregnancy, in the beginning, when like I said, like we had a miscarriage in January of last year, a lot was happening. The house, the remodeling, and then we got pregnant, and it was like, oh my gosh, um, like this is crazy. Like it was exciting, but it was crazy because I'm like, dang, it came in a very crazy time, and then, um, we lost the baby, so it was a very weird 3, 4 months of the year last year for me emotionally, because I thought like, "Man, it's my fault, like, I was too stressed." You tend to blame yourself.
Well, that's on top of all the things that were,
Everything
yeah,
that
the
was
house. Yeah.
happening. Yeah, so that was pretty crazy experience. So, for us, thank God we had people of prayer, friends and stuff that, were there and like helping us and praying for us and just encouraging us. Um, so then this time when we got pregnant last year, I think October or September, I forget. Um, it was like it was a surprise, but not really because we knew we wanted this baby, but we just didn't know when. We just didn't know like when was it gonna fit in? So when we did get pregnant, it was like, whoa, like it's happening, like this is crazy, like the fifth baby. It was just everything was just I think I was like not surprised, but surprised. I can't describe the feeling. But then the first 3 months was crazy. Like, I had never experienced this with the other babies, which was I was puking. I
Mm,
had morning sickness, not
mm,
even morning, it was an all day sickness. Like,
that's right.
especially it hit me hard, like, at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., like, after lunch, it was even harder, where, like, I didn't wanna get out of bed, like, thank God the kids were so patient too, because
Mhm,
they would see me like,
mhm,
and Hannah would be like, "What do you need something?" And Ben, "Mommy, do you want me to massage you?" Like they were just very, very sweet through it all. Like nobody was like, again, like you're in bed again, like nobody was like that. Everybody was very like supportive but it was rough. Those 3 months, I was like, God, when is this gonna end? Like I thought this was never gonna end. Like the nausea, the just going to the toilet and puking, like, I had never experienced that in my life.
well, because you had 4 different, opportunities to experience that, and you were like, "Oh, I guess I don't get morning sickness," but then the first 3 months of the 5th, now at this age.
Yeah. And the thing is that I asked the doctor, I was like, "Hey, why now? Like, why?" He's like, "Well," um, he didn't really say because of my age, but he kinda said it, and then he was like, "Also because you have a lot going on,
I think that's what it is too. Oh,
and you're always tired,
and
like,
then
more
say
tired."
that thing with your sciatic that you went through, and then,
Oh,
like, yeah.
that was
Yeah, that
crazy.
was crazy. What was it?
Well, it's just your sciatica, like your nerve, because the
Yeah,
baby sits,
yeah,
your pelvis and all
yeah,
that, it sits, so it triggers,
yeah.
your
So
sciatica,
here's a little
so
hack. If you like that, you feel like, "Oh, man, my sciatic's so I'm gonna stretch it." So
oh,
you start to stretch it a lot.
I did all the wrong
Yeah,
things,
so you're
that's why
not
it
supposed to
triggered it.
stretch it if
Yeah, no, but it was a lot was happening that month too, it
mm,
was a lot going
yeah,
on that month, but yeah, so I think this time around, because there's so much going on,
mhm,
I have to slow down, like, I have to be,
mhm,
like, calm down and just rest.
mhm,
And for me, I think at this level of like just sit down and rest, I think for me it's become a battle. It has because it's
mhm.
I'm so used to
Go, go,
with the
go.
kids, with this, with that. Like now it's like, no, you need to relax, sit down and just chill.
Do you wanna go through some of the things on the links that you sent? Like some of
Yeah,
the
I mean, I think for this, it was just like um just sharing like how
you guys wanna pull up the first link? I think, that she sent,
no, I don't think there's links.
yeah, there's a link that says healthy lifestyle, like, kind of
Oh,
what it
yeah,
tells you.
yeah. I don't really wanna get so much into that because there's so much content already and, like, so many things out there that people can look.
Well, either
But
way,
I
tell
think
talk
it's
about
more
it.
like saying my experience. I think not aligning myself with,
Well, look it up.
like,
Put it. I think it is
because
important.
there's so much, like,
I get you.
cons and
I
negative
get you.
things
But
out there.
I want you to react to it, and I think that's the point. Okay.
So, yeah, like, understand the risks,
Okay. All right. It might take you longer to get pregnant.
Yeah. Well, we had a miscarriage.
I think that's
Yeah.
true because we've always been very blessed that you get pregnant right away. Um, but we had never that was like out of left field for
Yeah.
us. Like, dude, like you had a miscarriage, like,
Yeah.
and it was because of the AMA, like advanced
I mean,
the quality of.
we can't say it's because of that exactly, but there's a lot of factors.
There are a lot of
I
factors, but
mean, even the
yeah,
doctor was like,
yeah, we
there's
can't say
no
exactly what,
way to say.
but I'm saying mo none of that happened before, and we had
Yeah,
4.
for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it might take longer to get pregnant. I think there's an element of that though, because it's not like pipe dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
is like there is a reality that
Yeah.
like
And we
once.
were actually just talking about this
That's why I want you to say it.
yesterday. Our there was a couple of people that opened up in the marriage group. We were led to pray for people, how like last year maybe there were some things that you were waiting for, hoping for, and it just didn't come to pass. And so like a sense of failure comes, or a sense of like, man, like what did I do wrong? What, did I miss it? Because are those promises for me? And there was a few that opened up about fertility issues,
Mhm.
right? And I know these women are a little bit over 35. Um, so just like reading this, like understanding the risk. I mean, just with that, you're like, close it. Like, I'm not getting pregnant, like this is never gonna happen to
Yeah.
me. But I know God did something in these women yesterday,
Mhm.
last night. It
Mhm.
was like a breakthrough of like, there was such a heaviness on them and we were praying for them. There was like even depression over them that they've been going through, like just hopelessness. And we were just encouraging them. We were praying for them. We were saying, "Hey, like who cares what this says? Like who cares what the doctors say? Who cares what, the diagnosis was? Like if you are a believer, again, what does the word of God say?" And
Faith.
and one of the verses, if you guys can look it up, that I always hold on to when the enemy comes, is in Psalms 84:11. And this verse came to me years ago, where I thought like, no, all these things that are happening to us that are good, they're going to end up like stopping. Like God is like God can't be this good. God can't be this faithful. God can't, be like he can't give me this many miracles. Like you probably only get like 5, and that's it. Then he's done with you. Like that was like my mentality back then. Of again, it comes from poverty. Like when is a good thing going to end? Because it's too good to be true. And this verse says, "For the Lord God uh is a sun and a shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor." And I love this second half. It says, "No good thing does he withhold from those who walk is blameless." Now, blameless, there's another version that it says, "Those who fear God."
Mhm.
Those who love God. Now, that doesn't mean you're gonna be perfect. That doesn't mean you're not gonna make mistakes. That doesn't mean that. That just means that you're in your heart, you're always wanna do what God wants you to do. Sometimes you will miss it, but there's always that pursuit of that. And when I read that, like, wait, God, no good thing God will withhold from me. Like,
Mhm.
God is like, hey, I'm not punishing you. Like, I am
Mhm.
not gonna try to punishing you and like on purpose not give you this blessing, or on purpose not give you this promise. And this is what we were sharing last night with, this group, and these women had just like, dude, like that heaviness, you just saw how like that broke off of their lives. Like they were like, you know what? I'm not going to give up. Like
Mhm.
I'm going to keep believing.
Mhm.
And that's what happened with us. At first, I was a little scared, like after the miscarriage that we had, because unfortunately, there was like a person that was like, maybe you shouldn't get pregnant anymore. Like, don't even try, because if you do get pregnant, you're going to start to feel like, what if you get sick? And then what if you lose the baby
And all the
again?
what ifs.
And then all of the what ifs. And I was like, aren't you a believer? Like, I'm like,
Mhm.
aren't you a person that should be full of
Mhm.
faith? Like,
Mhm.
why are you talking like this?
Mhm.
And I had to shut that out too, because there was a fear in me of like, okay, like if I do try to get pregnant again, like, is that going to, am I going to put my life at risk? Am I going to put the baby at risk? And then I start to think about, well, what about the delivery? What about the labor? What if something goes wrong? But as we've been going to the doctor, thank God, like as I've been aligning myself to the word of God, as if I've been aligning myself to his promises, and why this baby, is even in my womb,
Mhm.
like every time we've been going to the doctor,
Mhm.
every test that we've been taking, it's been like, baby's healthy, baby's good.
Wow.
We just had the spinal, I forgot what it's called.
Yeah,
Um,
the thing that checks the
the
spine.
spine, and if
Mhm,
there's any disorders on the
mhm,
baby's spine, and they're like, nope, negative, everything's good, the screen was good. I'm like, thank you, God, and it's just like before it was like, yeah, okay. But now it's like,
mhm.
thank God,
Yeah,
because of all the things that come against you,
yeah,
all the diagnosis, all the,
yeah.
all these voices.
It's a faith journey. So, Mira, can you please pull up the thing, and then because I want to go through them real quick, love, because
Yeah.
sometimes we could think like, oh, you just having faith is just sticking your head inside of a rock and just forgetting about the reality of things, but no, it's not. Like, look, the reality is multiple pregnancies are more common. Okay. A multiple
Or
pregnancy is
like
more
you get
common.
twins.
Yeah, having twins, the chances of that. Okay. There's a risk of gestational diabetes. Okay, that increases, that's what it says.
Yeah.
The risk of developing high blood pressure during pregnancy is higher.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a greater risk of premature
Premature
birth
birth.
and having a baby of low
Low.
birth weight, a C-section, what is it? Chromosomal
Yeah,
conditions,
that's what I tested
um,
for. Yeah.
risk. Oh, okay, that one. Okay, risk of pregnancy loss is
Loss is
higher. Okay,
higher.
and
Yeah.
then what? And then it gives you practical tips. Okay,
Right.
make what is it? Preconception appointment. Seek regular prenatal care. Eat a healthy diet. That one's important. Gain weight wisely. You're actually Gabby's. I'm very
Oh,
proud of
yeah.
her. Yeah, she has her personal trainer that she had before the pregnancy,
Yeah.
but she's kept it, like, even now, like, you're going and
It's
she's
helped
helping you
me.
out.
It's helped me a lot with, like, energy and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it is more important. Like, where what I'm saying is, like, before in your other pregnancies, like, oh, okay, well, I'll gain all the weight, but
Yeah.
I'll just lose it. But
Yeah.
I think now at this age, it's like it's a little bit different because it's like, okay, well, like, it's a lot harder to really get into that. Okay. So what I'm saying is that is the like the doctor, the medical
Mhm.
advice,
Yeah.
and that's what that tells you. So what I what has worked for us is understanding the reality of things. Okay, so you listen to the professionals. Okay, what does the professionals say
The
about you?
experts.
What do the experts say about a mortgage for a $1.2 million house? How much money do you need? Okay, what do the experts say about AMA pregnancy? What are the risks? What can you expect? All these different things, and then pairing it up with, okay, that's that. All right, I'm aware of the data. I'm aware of all that stuff. Now, what does the Word of God say
Mhm.
about all these different things?
Mhm.
And I think when we marry all of these different things, and when we say, okay, well, I understand all of that, and I understand what the Word of God says, and I
Yeah.
choose to put my faith. Now, faith is the confidence in what we hope for,
Yeah.
the assurance about what we do not see.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that the reality doesn't align with God's reality
Yeah.
right now at the moment, but I'm going to choose to still have faith and
There
still believe.
there's a verse that I wanna look up, but I can't look it up right now, but it says, "Faith understands." I love on Monday, we were at a prophetic night meeting, and the person that, spoke said that phrase, and I think it's in Romans or in Hebrews, but it says, "Faith understands," and a lot of these things, guys, like, logically, it won't make sense to be pregnant, at 37 years old. It won't make sense to, live in California, LA, and, God promises you a successful business, having this, having that, like, oh, there you go. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. This is very powerful. This is exactly what we're talking about. If you wanna grow in faith, guys, read the book of Hebrews. Like, it's by faith that we understand. It's saying here, look, things are not made out of tangible things that are visible, logical things, right? Like, when God promises you something, it's because he's going to do it,
Mhm,
because it's his word. His
mhm,
word is alive and active. It's sharper than a double-edged sword. So, when you live like this, like, guys, nothing is impossible.
mhm,
To have a healthy baby, at your 9 months, they're not coming prematurely. I'm 21 weeks, now. I'm halfway there. And I am believing this baby's coming out at 38, 39, 40 weeks.
And that's and
No,
yeah.
not before that.
But that's what I think is awesome about what we're like, guys, like we're literally going through it. Like we're saying there's all these risks potentially that can happen. Gabby's pregnant. Like I'm looking at her belly, right? I'm looking at her right now. And how many months? 5?
I'm at the end of 5 months.
At
Yeah.
the end of 5 months, guys, some of this stuff, like they're very real risks, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But we are choosing to believe
Yeah.
what the word of God
And not
says.
choosing to live in fear.
That's what it is.
And I think that, again, living in California, guys, yes, there's so many things that are happening, like, that you could live in fear.
There's
Like,
so there's that
that could be your life,
that could
you know?
validate your fear.
Exactly, that, "Oh, yeah, that's true, that is happening. Oh, yeah, a lot of break-ins. Yeah, that's happening. A lot of shoot. Yeah, that's happening. This," like, so many things that are happening around just here where we're at.
Mhm,
Like, we're not even talking about the nation. I
mhm,
mean, crazy stuff is
mhm,
happening right now. But we're just talking about LA. We're talking about just California. But we are choosing to not live in fear. We're choosing to live by faith because the righteous live by faith. They don't live by sight.
mhm,
You don't live by what it's visible here on earth. You're not like, "Oh my gosh, look at that." That it like who is your father, right? Who is the one that owns the silver and the gold? And that's what I we are choosing to believe. That's why for Pablo last year, I was sharing with the group yesterday. I was like, that was Pablo's journey. He had to go through it. He learned a lot of stuff. He saw another side of God as a provider, as father. But for me, I was cruising because I was like, well, I'm like, this is what God promised me, a house tonight. And we both have known that he had that for us. And for me, it was like, I know it's not going to be easy, but I was able to rest at the end of the year. I think when I saw him a lot more stressed, I think it got to me. Um, in that, like seeing you that way, I think it got to my emotions.
mhm,
Where I reached out to like a friend. I was like, dude, you gotta pray for me because like, this is kinda getting a little weird for me 'cause I've never seen Pablo like that. But I mean, I have seen you like that, but in a long time, like, where you were really worried and stressed. But then at the end, I chose to not align myself with that,
mhm.
and I was able to pray for you
Yeah.
and
Thanks, love.
just wait for you to snap out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, baby. Can you guys click on the link where it says how can a husband be involved? I wanted to add, my
Oh,
part here to AMA pregnancies.
okay.
And just kind of, you know, because this is to me, it's exciting. To
Yeah.
me, it's exciting because I get to be what I always wanted to be, but I was too immature to be that guy.
Oh, wow. This is a whole thing.
But
And this
because
this is gonna
yeah.
take
No, no, because I was if you can click on a link and just shows the Instagram one. I thought it was cute. It says, what did it say? It says one more like it's a woman that's pregnant and she says, one more unproductive day. I did nothing and got tired. Right. So the mother feels all guilty, and the mother's like, I couldn't get anything done. All I did was sleep. I feel so guilty. I didn't, clean the house. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And then the little baby says, Mom, you did your best today. You had enough rest so I could grow. Thank you so much.
Aw.
This just when it came up on my feed, I was just like, I was like, man, I understand it because this is the first pregnancy where I can truly say that I understand that. Like because before, man, I was such a jerk. Like I'd put so much like pressure, like to do different things, and when I wouldn't see Gabby be productive, I would be like, even judge,
Productive
be even, yeah, that's what I'm
in your
saying.
in your
Yeah,
in your
like, oh, you're
eyes.
not being productive because you're not doing stuff, and like you're just chilling, you're just
Yeah.
resting. But then it's like, bro, are you having a baby inside of your belly and still doing things like this? That she's doing work. Like right now, you're doing two jobs. You're on a podcast and you're, being a house
An
for
oven.
and you're being an oven for baby. You're doing a lot of different things. And so I think for a husband, uh, someone that's a father, a husband, and your wife is an AMA pregnancy, I think this is a great opportunity. What is it a great opportunity for? for you to just be very supportive, be a support, because now you think different. You don't.
Yeah.
I don't think the same way that I did when I was 28.
Yeah.
It's very selfish. I was very like
Yeah.
very even like mean, like very like harsh, and so I'm excited because it's an opportunity for me
Yeah.
to be a
For sure.
better
You're like
version.
completely different.
I'm a little bit more mature, baby girl.
You're more patient. I think I mean, obviously you're with age and stuff. And I think also, I mean, yeah, I mean, I could excuse it, right? I could be like, "Oh, you're young and you were, immature and you were all of that." But I also think you weren't taught, there was a lot of things that you weren't taught. Because a mom teaches you these things, I think. Like I'm teaching my boys how to be sensitive to Hannah,
Mhm,
like how to be sensitive to their sister. Like, hey, she's hurt. Don't just look at her and laugh. Like, no,
mhm.
like
Help her out.
go out and help her and,
Yeah.
are you okay? Check in on her
Hannah's
you
so
know?
cute. Like, so Judah has been sick, and so she comes with all these papers
Oh,
and all
yeah.
these pencils, and she puts them on the table. Hey guys, as a family, we're
Yeah.
going to all write down on an individual piece of paper what you feel about Judah. She basically wanted to write like
Yeah, like,
get well
"Get well,
soon.
Judah."
Get well
Yeah.
soon, but it's just so cute because but it's that like feminine,
Yeah.
it's that feminine
Yeah.
ninity that, she like brings to the whole family and that you
Yeah.
bring. And so now we're gonna have another girl. So I grew up with, four brothers. We're four brothers, and
Savages.
we're savages. Like, Gavi
Dude, I think I got the
got the brunt of it.
I did. I got
Gabby
the
got the
burn
brunt
of
of it.
it. I
Sarah,
really did.
Sarah and Jenny, which,
No,
yeah, that
they
also
they
happened
have
last year.
they have
They have it easy.
they have the 2.0.
Yeah, they have the 2.0 of everyone, so we're still on a journey, but no, bro, nothing in comparison. Nothing. So for me, I'm like,
Yeah, no,
this.
you've been great. You've been great. I even think with Benjamin, you improved a lot too, like the labor and delivery, like I mean, because it was COVID, I think it was the downside of it, but other than that, like everything was great.
Well, because it is. You think you're like, I didn't know how selfish I was until I got married to you.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and I didn't know how selfish I still was until I had my firstborn, and then second, third, and then so like we're on to our fifth.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, well, and it's hard, your last place, all the time, so but this is what you sign up for. And it is fulfilling, and I am very
Yeah.
grateful. But I
So
think
we can move on, or are we gonna
should we
end?
move on or end? I
Because the
think
last one is our parent non-negotiables.
there's two things that we wanted to get to. I don't think we're gonna get to both of them.
Yeah.
Which one do you think? There's parent non-negotiables, and then is what content
I
we
think the
approve
parent
for our kids. Do we
non-negotiables.
still have viewers? Is anybody still on? 10 people? Why don't
Well,
you why don't you ask the chat? We have two things that we talk about. Okay, either parent non-negotiables or what content we approve for our kids. So let's have them decide what content we approve for our kids to watch at home, or
or non
parents
which is
non-negotiables. No, it's different. Totally
it's
different.
not different, but it connects.
Connects, but it's different.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, oh, because there's a lag, huh? There's like a 2-minute lag. Okay. This is cool. I like
Well,
this.
the non-negotiables it's gonna take a long time.
Non-negotiables is going to take a long time.
It is because it's like
So then
5,
let's just go
6
to
points
content.
to it. Yeah, and then we can just go to the
Content we approve for the kids.
next time we can cover the non-negotiables and focus more on parenting.
Okay, so the next time we'll focus on parenting non-negotiables. Sorry, guys, I try to include you guys, but
We have about 15 minutes. So.
But I was gonna say, like, we're figuring a lot of things out. Like, to me, this looks super cool. Like everything, like it's super awesome. But we're still figuring things out. We're still, continuing to get better. Next, our next podcast, we have Jackie and
the 28th.
David coming on the 28th. And we'll have, you know what? All right, so maybe you couldn't help us comment there, but at least help us with this. Help us, send us like maybe articles, or maybe send us, okay, on the next episode, if you know who they are, like, oh, it'd be cool if you ask them this. So
yeah, it's Jackie Dorman. She so you can look her up. She's on Instagram, she's on YouTube.
Yeah,
Um,
she does this like thing where it's like last year single,
yeah.
and
But she also does inner healing heart work
like Sozo
first.
stuff.
So not sozo, but like inner
Oh,
healing. And
cool.
then also she has done like stuff with marriages too.
Okay, cool. So then
Yeah.
let's go to content we approve for kids.
Sure.
All right. I mean, to me, guys, this is important because look, to me, the influences that you allow in your life, all right, just start with you. The influences I allow in my life will shape me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say that again. The influences that I allow in my life will shape me. They will shape the way that I think. And then what'll happen is that that'll begin to go down here and then it'll shape the way that my heart is. And so the Bible says that the mouth speaks from the abundance of the heart. So you see, so we get influenced here and then it goes in here, and then it goes into our heart, and then we speak.
Right.
So to me, what you watch and what you hear are very, very important. Those
Yeah.
are very, very important. So for me personally, so now
Yeah.
for my children who
Yeah.
don't have the same filters that I do,
Exactly. Yeah.
like I can see something and I could be like, oh, they're trying to manipulate me.
Right.
I could, hear a message and be like, oh, okay, well, I agree with this part of the message, but I don't agree with that part of the message. Before I had a big problem with that because I was like, oh, well, I won't even listen to you if I disagree with a small part of your message. So it's like
Right.
you're the devil. And I'm closing my
Yeah.
ears completely to you. But no, I as you grow, you realize, well, there are somebody can say really good thing about this, but then you're like, well, when you start talking about this, I don't agree with you because it's not, the
Yeah.
Bible doesn't agree with you, so therefore I don't agree with you. And
Yeah.
so, or the fruit doesn't show it, like the evidence, the results in your life are showing something that I don't really want for my life. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but my children don't have that. And that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And so why are we so like regimented? Why are we so like super, like this is a big deal for us. What we allow our kids to watch on TV,
Yeah.
and what we don't allow them to watch, this is a big deal for us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. And I think, I mean, it's they're little minds, they're so impressionable. Whatever they hear, even like at school, they go to a Christian school. Um, and even at school, like my kid one time came and he's like, my teacher said that if I have to drink like 1 cup of milk a day, and if I don't do like he was just very
Like that's
like
the
that's
Bible.
the Bible. So they're just very impressionable,
Yeah.
and whatever they hear first,
For the first time.
for the first time, it
Yeah,
sticks.
that's it.
It sticks.
Yeah.
So now, one thing is we don't allow our kids, like I never allow my kids to watch something new that I haven't done research on.
That I haven't seen
I
before. Like a
haven't
show,
seen before. A
Explain that.
show.
Yeah.
So like for instance, yesterday, we allowed our kids like 30 minutes of screen time. And Hannah was like, "What about this, mom? What about this, mom? What about?" And I was like, "Look, Hannah, like right now I'm busy running around. Like I cannot sit with you right now, research what you want to watch. So watch something you've already watched that daddy and I have already approved."
Mhm.
And then she kept asking me, "What about?" I'm like, "If you ask me one more time,
No more TV.
I'm turning off the TV." So like you just have to be very like
Yeah.
black and white with them
Yeah.
right now.
So, but that's why
Be-
before we talk about those, I want everyone to understand the why we are so adamant about
Yeah.
this. Like the
I
why.
mean, right now it's like even Netflix, like there's so many. For instance, there's a show, Transformers cartoon.
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, cute, Transformers cartoon." And then it turns out that they have like a gay agenda, like this girl.
Transformers?
Yeah, this
Get
girl
out of here.
comes out and she's like, "Oh, like it's okay if, you don't identify as, I think it was like a robot." I don't know. They were trying to just use that whole like
The language.
yeah, like he, she, whatever, right? Um, so they're always trying to like inject those things. So
Mhm.
you as a parent, if that's not your value, that's not our value. We believe God created just male and female. Um, like we are intentional about those things. Although we talk to our kids a lot about that already. Like we're very like once they understand, like 2 years old, I'm already talking to them about what makes you a boy, what makes you a girl. And then like it's no spiritual answer, guys. It's just like, oh, you're a boy because you have a penis. Oh, you're a girl because you have a vagina. Like we don't taboo it. Like we don't mystify it and like make it a spiritual thing. You're a girl because the feelings and No, 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 like, by how do you say that?
Biology.
Yes. Like, shows you who you like, who God
Mhm.
created you to be.
Mhm.
So we've always been like that since they're like 2
Mhm.
years old or as soon as they understand it. Um, so they know, but if you keep throwing things at them with TV, with,
Mhm.
TV shows, movies, and
Mhm.
just treat it like it's no big deal. You can watch that.
Mhm.
Like, they'll get like, "Oh, okay, it's not a big deal."
To me, it's all about indoctrination.
That's
Okay.
what I was gonna
So
say, yeah.
I want to indoctrinate my kids. This is not the
The TV.
responsibility of the TV. This is
Yeah.
not the responsibility of the school.
Yeah.
Definitely not the responsibility of the school. It's not the responsibility of
Even your
the
church.
church.
Yeah.
It's not the responsibility of anyone. First and foremost, it's your responsibility.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you allow other people to share and to you leverage that with different communities you're a part of, different things that you allow them to see. So that's what I'm saying. It all comes down to indoctrination. Indoctrination is the process of teaching a person or group to accept a set of beliefs.
Yeah.
So that means that it's like, oh, that's my set of beliefs. I believe that, and so that's what I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
What we have to understand, what we all must understand, is that beliefs have consequences.
Yes.
Okay, if you believe that you are a victim,
Mhm.
then you're going
The
to be a
results,
victim. The
yeah.
results are going to be that you are, and we
Always
talked
in
about this earlier.
defeat,
Yeah,
all that,
you're
yeah.
always going to be defeated.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? If you believe that you are a winner, if you believe that you can do all things in Christ who strengthens you, you can go through all sorts of situations. You can go through poverty, you can go through rich, you can
Yeah.
go through whatever it is, but your faith is unshakable. But you still believe that God is God and that He reigns forever. Okay, see, this is a set of beliefs, is what I'm trying
Mhm.
to say.
Mhm.
And so for us, what we allow our kids to watch is very, very important. So number one, we don't allow our children to see anything that if we get a sense of like, oh, these people are trying to indoctrinate our children into their
Mhm.
set of
Yeah.
beliefs. To me, I'm like, nah, dude, like
Yeah.
I'm good. We're
I
we're,
mean,
we're just we're gonna
we've
cancel that out.
skipped a lot of Disney, movies that have come out in the past.
The majority of Disney movies.
We just have I look, guys, I like Disneyland. If you see me at Disneyland, don't be like, "Oh, I thought you didn't like." No, I like Disney. I like, their food and, like, I
The
for
experience.
fun,
Yeah,
I go once every, like, maybe 3, 4
yeah,
years. It's
yeah.
not like, I have to go every
We
year.
might go this year.
We might go this year.
Unfortunately.
Paulo
I
doesn't like
I
theme
hate Disneyland.
parks.
I hate theme parks.
He just because he gets sick very easy from his tummy.
Not just that, I
Um,
don't like walking around like with all those people and like you have to wait in line like hours for like a little
I don't
thing that lasts 10 minutes. But he's a jolly good fellow. Oh no, it's not that. It's he's a small world after
That's like what
all.
he's thinking. Anyway, but yeah,
Boring, bro.
so I don't think it's boring. The kids loved it last time we went. They had fun. Um, but I think so I'm not like an extreme like, oh no, like X out. Like, no, I'm not saying that. But when it's like an everyday thing, where it's like part of their lifestyle, part of like you were saying right now, like beliefs, that's where we draw the
But I'll give you an
line.
example. If okay, and this is important. If a show or a movie is going to talk about a subject that I haven't yet indoctrinated
Yeah.
my kids on,
Yeah.
and they're going to get some information about that,
Yeah.
and we haven't talked about that, I'm not going to risk it.
Right.
I'll give you an example. Okay. And this is so like, because, bro, okay, Little Giants, right? The movie Little
Trying to
Giants.
remember.
It's the football movie with the guy, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and then like it's like they're forming this football team,
Okay.
and then it's this football team that's kind of like janky versus a team that's like very very good, and
Reminds
then
is that like
it's
the
like an
big
underdog.
green?
It's kind of like the Big Green, but
Okay.
it's an underdog movie.
Okay.
All right, so me, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna watch the Little Giants, and I'm so excited to watch it, and I start watching it with the kids, and then all of a sudden they start throwing out their like sexual innuendos, and
That's in
and they
all the
start
movies
and
right
they
now.
start throwing out there like this thing with like this relationship, how this girl wants to kiss the guy or something like that. It's like this whole thing, right? About like kissing. Okay.
Mm.
I'm like, dude. And at the time, like, I'm like, I don't want my little daughter to watch that and to get ideas from what she's seeing there and to be like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
like her goal in life is to kiss a guy. And like, so now I have this goal in life that I want to kiss a guy. So if I
Yeah.
haven't talked to her,
Yeah, for
or
sure.
if I don't see the maturity in her,
Mhm.
or I see that she's like, no, bro, you can't give her a piece of candy because this girl will bounce off the walls.
Yeah.
Well, you can't give her a little bit of fantasy
Yeah.
because
I
Like,
mean, that's a whole thing. I mean, again, it's your values, right? And what you think it's important. Like we have always been very, very careful. And you have to know who you have as your child. We know our Hannah like loves love and like she's very girly and she
oh yeah,
loves princesses and
oh
she
man,
we that's who she is. So
yeah.
for us, we know that if we would
She loves
like,
being rescued. Like when we play like
oh yeah.
games, like that first, like now she likes going out and like hunting. But before
Yeah.
she was like, okay, dad, let's play Nerf guns and I'm gonna be the princess and everybody has to protect me. That was like
Yeah,
her
yeah,
role in
yeah.
the whole thing.
Yes.
Now she's like out there like shooting things,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she's a girl, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
she's a
So
girl. So for us, it's like, we've really made sure with her specifically not to show her movies that are all about romance and kissing. And that's a lot of the Disney movies, like
mm,
the prince comes and like rescues you. But then also why we don't do that to just to feed her the fantasy, inside of her.
mhm.
We know she wants to be a mom one day and a wife one day. So we practice what the word of God says, like do not awaken love before it's time. So
Why
we
are we
don't
gonna feed that?
why are we gonna feed it?
Uh-huh.
Like why are we gonna feed those thoughts, those that and we've spoken to her too at school. There's a lot of her friends that, like boys and have crushes and they're like 7 years
Well,
old.
that's
And
hang on. Let me say something about that because something on our list that we have here, what content we don't approve for our kids is most Disney princess movies, specifically because we understand kind of where our daughter's at. We understand her maturity. But now check this out, guys. So, not even this year, not even last year, I think it was in kindergarten that she started coming home and she started telling us,
yeah, it
this
was
girl has a
2 years
boyfriend, this
ago,
girl has a
3 years ago.
boyfriend, and they're holding hands
Oh,
and they're
yeah, and
this
they're
and they're
saying that
that.
they're married.
They're saying that they're married. I don't know if they're kissing each other. I don't know. Like,
There was a
they're
lot of kissing going
get the
on.
heck out.
So,
Like,
like, I
bro,
talked to the kindergarten teacher, and I was like, "We don't allow that. We don't even play."
but my thing is this. My thing is this, because you might say like Pablo, that's so
"Oh,
like
that's so
radical.
cute."
No, and that's cute that they have their boyfriends and that they want to
Yeah,
kiss each other and that and that they're watching all these princess movies and they're harmless and innocent. Like, okay, in this classroom, kindergarten classroom, all this was going on. Like these little girls, like getting all like riled up and wanting to kiss and like, dude, like
yeah,
they're little kids. Like they don't
yeah,
understand. They don't understand. So then it's like then you ask yourself, okay, well, how does someone start a series of bad decisions?
right.
Okay, and to me, it's no boundaries.
No
And the boundaries,
boundaries,
they
yeah,
don't set up their own boundaries.
exactly.
Parents set boundaries up for them.
Yes,
I set up boundaries for her. And where does it begin?
yeah,
With what we speak about, with what
mhm,
we watch, with what we listen to.
yeah,
So if I'm gonna be like, hey, baby girl, you're it's okay to have crushes. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it
and we've
like,
had this
yeah,
conversation with
they
her.
tell us their crushes all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And the thing about
It
their
changes
crushes
every 2
is
months.
that they change every 2 months. Bro, their crushes change all the time. One time they have a crush on this guy because he
Yeah.
said something nice about her.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he picked up the pencil for her from
He
the floor.
Exactly. He picked up a pencil from her. Now she has a crush. Okay. Now,
He's
and
nice.
same with the boys. Like they have
Yeah,
different crushes
yeah,
based off of how they feel at the moment.
yeah,
And that's fine. That's good to
yeah,
have crushes. But what our kids know is like, okay, there's a difference between having a crush
and
and
acting.
acting on your crush.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm too young. I don't know. Like I don't know how to be
yeah,
a boyfriend.
yeah.
I don't
Because
because
they
I'm too
don't know.
young.
They're still learning how to practice self-control. Like,
Right.
they don't even know how to regulate their own emotions,
Yeah.
So it's like
Or like my mom says, ni se pueden lavar el calzoncillo. It's like, you don't know how to
right.
properly wipe yourself,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, they don't.
You're not ready for this. So
Like, no, they
so the,
don't.
the point is, if I'm gonna be like tuning out and being like, oh yeah, my kids, they watch a whole bunch of movies, 2 hours, 3 hours with the movies after school because I'm busy and I'm doing, I'm making money. And they're just watching all this stuff. Don't be surprised if all of a sudden their speech or their actions are a certain way.
Yeah,
What are they watching? What are they
yeah,
listening to?
yeah.
This is why for us it's very important and we
Yeah,
regulate
and
it.
we believe in marriage. So we believe that preparation for marriage starts now. It doesn't start like when they're 15, 16, 18, 20. No, it starts now. Like, giving them these values, these boundaries and teaching them the reason why we don't believe in early dating, like it's going to set them up for failure earlier. And we even tell them like, why having a boyfriend and girlfriend, it's to lead to eventually marriage. We're like, "You're 5. Are you gonna get married in 3 years?" And Ben's like, "No." Like, Ben gets so grossed out when you talk to about girls. But
But it's like,
like,
but it's like, dude, everybody wants a son that respects women.
yeah,
Everybody wants a daughter that's gonna value herself.
and be pure and yeah,
But this is where it begins, guys.
right.
It begins with what we allow our kids to see.
Yeah,
It begins with what we allow our kids to be influenced by.
yeah.
You have no idea how a Disney movie influences people's lives. Think about your own life. Think about our own life. Bro, part of the reason why I was such a lustful little kid is because I would watch Disney stuff and watch all this stuff, bro.
Dude,
Like,
remember that one time we went to this cool, like, outdoor, movie thing in, like,
mhm.
Malibu
Oh
or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah.
and it was Back to the
Yeah.
Future.
Mhm.
I was like, "I've seen this when I was a kid, and I don't remember, like, a
From that
kid
lens,
trying to go into a girl's skirt, like,
bro.
under the table," and I was like, "What?" And, like, I think Judah was, like, 4 or
Yeah.
something when we took it, and I was like,
Let's get out of here. We booked
I
it.
was, like, shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't remember watching this scene," but it's, like, so, like, it gets,
Yeah.
like, in your
Subconscious.
subconscious, and
Yeah.
then you don't understand why you have these thoughts, you have these
Mhm.
dreams, you have these
Yeah.
desires, these
Yeah.
temptations,
That's yeah. Yeah.
to do things with boys, with
100%.
girls,
And
and it's like, "Well, my mom didn't tell me, like,
yeah,
go be lustful." No, but the movies,
they're
the
influencing
cartoons,
me.
the things that you've
And
been
and this is
watching.
the thing, going back to what I was saying earlier. Us as adults, okay, we have a different filter. Okay, there's a
I mean,
hopefully,
hopefully.
hopefully,
Hopefully.
hopefully, there's a filter up here that when you listen to someone, you listen to us speak. Okay, there are some things I don't expect you to agree with us a hundred
100%, of
percent.
course,
Like
no.
I would say, if you agree with us 100%, like I don't know, bro, like you don't have your own mind. Like if we're at a solid 90, guys,
Yeah,
if we're at a solid like even 85,
yeah,
bro, like you're listening to the right podcast.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. But if they're like, man, 10, 15%, I gotta process. Like
yeah,
I gotta understand this. I would say that's perfectly normal.
yeah,
Like but you see why? Because you have a filter that
yes.
has been processed through different life events, through different beliefs, through different indoctrinations that you
Mhm,
have. You see, so
yeah,
our kids don't have that.
yeah.
They don't
So
have
we
that.
have to be that.
So we are
We are
that.
the
Mhm.
gatekeepers,
Yes.
we're the
Yes.
gatekeepers of our home, we're the
Yeah.
gatekeepers of their eyes, their ears, like,
Mhm.
we teach them right now what is right, what is wrong,
Mhm.
and then as they get older, they'll also make their own decisions, and they're
100%.
also gonna see how they raise their family, but right now, they're under our care,
Yep.
our responsibility,
Yep.
we're gonna God's gonna hold us accountable.
100%.
So, yeah, so just really quickly.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Along with that, oh yeah, are you gonna go to the next?
No, I just wanna go through, like,
Okay,
just
so yeah,
practical, like, examples that we don't like, for instance, like, the Disney movie stuff,
that's what I was
the
gonna do.
reason why, we already said it,
One of
and
them is
then
for the lust. The second one is we don't allow our kids to watch anything that has to do with like the occult or
yeah,
witchcraft.
yeah, we're very, very sensitive to that, and, we believe it's real, we believe that there is a hell, we don't believe in that, the doctrine that says like I forgot what it's called, like where they believe it's just in your conscience and like,
Mm,
your soul disappears after.
mm.
Like we don't believe in that. We actually believe that there's a real hell and
We believe that there are demons
there are
and they're
demons
all real
and
and
there's a
they
devil.
torture people and they oppress people.
Yeah, and there's a devil and that, his mission is to kill, steal and destroy.
Mhm,
Um so for us knowing that as parents, like we know that the enemy is always after children because that's where the doors get open to the occult, to lust, to whatever it is. So that when they're adults, their lives are messed up. So
mhm,
for, we've gone through things, like thank God my mom for me in that aspect, she was very hands-on too. And what I took from my mom was very good at explaining to me things, like teaching me um why it is that it's not godly, like why we don't celebrate Halloween, why, we just don't like nothing to do with the occult. We don't mess with that. Not because we're scared of it, not because we're scared. I mean, yesterday the Lord was leading me to deliver someone. So it's not like I'm scared of demons. No, no, no. But what I know is that my children, like we were saying right now, they're little. Like they don't know how to fight yet. They don't know how to battle
Mhm.
bad dreams. When they have bad dreams, they come to you. They're like, "Mommy, I had a nightmare." And then that's when you teach them, you give them you set them up and teach them, "Okay, this is how you war. This is how you battle with the word of God, with the authority that God has given you." Um, but if you're like letting them watch, you know, anything with the occult, with witchcraft, with magic, with, like I'll mention one movie what's with the panda?
Kung Fu Panda?
Kung Fu Panda,
Uh-huh.
like on the latest TV show that they
Mhm.
have, it's a lot of witchcraft in it, like a lot of portals, um, you know, uh, demons come, like not demons, but like those things coming
Mhm.
out, from
Mhm.
portals, opening up
Mhm.
and all these things. And I'm like, wait, we believe in portals. Why? Because the Bible talks to me about that there was angels ascending and descending, right? There was like the heavens were opening.
Mhm.
So this is real stuff. Like, and Jesus saw the devil, it said that I saw him like lightning or something like
Mhm.
that, right? Like coming down from heaven. So we know that there's activity, there's angelic and there's demonic activity in the heavens. So all these cartoons make it all cute and like innocent and all like it's just, he's just doing like the karate stuff and it's like no, no, no. This is opening a door
Mhm.
to even like block the senses of your kids
That's true.
that like it's okay to accept like the occult. It's normal. So I don't know. I hear a lot of people say that they actually get into the occult in like their teens.
Mhm.
They start to mess around with like Wicca,
Mhm.
like spells, especially girls that want like boys to like
Boys to
them.
like them. Mhm.
It's actually a real thing, guys.
Mhm.
The love spells.
Mhm.
Um, and then everything is cute. Everything's, "Oh, it's just girls being girls. It's just little teens being teens." And, there was this one time where, we don't believe in, like, luck or anything like that, but, um, Hannah so there's this TV show called, K-pop Demon Hunters that's very, very popular on Netflix.
Mhm.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know. But Hannah one time comes home, she starts to talk to us about it. All my friends are watching this TV show, they're singing the theme song, and I'm like, "Okay, well, what is it about?" She goes, well, it's K-pop Demon Hunters." I'm like, "Well, that tells you everything." It's like they're hunting demons, right? And it's all about demons. It's about they come from different realms and stuff, and they have to go into different realms to seek these demons.
Mm.
And then they sing and they dance.
Mm.
So that's what attracts the kids because of the singing and
Mm.
the dancing. Oh, it's
Mm.
fine, right?
Mm.
So then she went through something where her friends, because they were so into it, and she was like, "Well, I'm not." They stopped talking to her and they started telling her like, "Well, you know what? You go sit over there because we're singing the song." And if you're not singing the song, like, you need to go somewhere else. So, she actually did. She was like, "All right." So then she went to another table. She was, like, by herself. And then her teacher saw that, and her teacher went to her and said, Hannah obviously was crying, I think. And then her teacher was like, "What's wrong?" And then told her, she's like, "Well, here, come with this other girl that also doesn't do that." And then, like, she's not participating. So like she sat her down with them, but she started affirming Hannah and saying, "I'm so proud of you for like standing up for what you believe in." And then the teacher called me and told me, what happened. So we affirmed Hannah and then we said, "Hannah, like that's going to happen. That's going to happen to us, that the world, even our friends, our family, they're going to reject us for Christ, for like choosing Jesus all the way. We're going to be rare sometimes. We're probably really rare, even what we're saying now, that we don't allow our kids to watch anything with the occult.
Yeah, but we're okay with that,
And
because
we're
to
teaching our
me,
kids to be okay with that.
and I think that's the key right there. Not only are we okay with that, but we're indoctrinating our own kids and we're teaching them, we're telling them. But see, we're not just telling them, hey, do this because we do this. We're telling them and we're saying, no,
Why?
look, buddy, look, son or daughter.
Well, we have Levi. Levi is very like, well, why? You know? And then when I finally like take out the Bible on him, he's like, oh, okay. Like that's like what convinces him. Like he's very like, well, I need to know why. And like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, oh, well, this is what the Bible says. Oh,
Because you do
okay.
have that card as a parent. As a
Yeah.
parent, you have that trump card, which says, because I'm the parent
Yeah.
and you're going to do what I say. And I'll tell you what, bro, like, don't be shy to use that card.
Yeah.
Bro, I know so many parents, like, dude, they're kids, dude.
Yeah.
Like, no, but, but this, but they're, yes, bro. Sometimes you just have to be a parent and
Yeah.
say,
And
because
parent
I
them.
say so.
Right.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And
stop
I'm not going
talking
to give
back.
you an explanation.
Yeah.
I don't owe you an explanation, dude.
Not all the time.
No, not all the time.
But for the most time,
For the
what
most part, we
part,
do.
what
Yeah.
for when it comes to values
Yeah.
and us like even when they
Yeah.
go to church, we're like, why do you go to church? You know,
Mhm.
why do we raise our hands? Why do we sing? Why like so we are doing that on purpose so they can have their own little minds
Yeah,
too.
but my point is this. My point is that just because you don't want to offend your children, or just because you know that you're going to elicit a response from them that's going to
or
be,
because you don't want them to be rejected.
or that be rejected. Like, look, guys, like, you're going to be rejected, like the Bible. Like, welcome to, being a believer of
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, we
A
are
true
going to expect a
disciple.
true, like, well, that's yeah. If you want to be a true disciple, but see, that's the thing. We're telling you something. We're telling you, guys, we've experienced a lot of success, and we'll continue to experience a lot of success in marriage, with our children, and in our finances. The secret sauce is the secret sauce is our beliefs in the Word. None of that exists. I believe Gabby and I have come to realization that none of that exists without that. So if we come down here and we're talking about it and we're saying, oh, this, that, and you get offended at that, well, I would say, look at the fruit, and look at the fruit with people that don't do it.
Yeah.
And I would say, you choose.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to do.
I mean,
But I'll tell you what, let's come back in 10, 20 years. You don't know if you're a good parent yet. I don't know if I'm a good parent yet. We can't say, oh, Gabby, you're a good parent. Oh, you know what? And someone that's in the same season as us, oh, you're a good parent. We're going to find out if we're good parents in 30 years from now, when our kids are grown up, when they're parenting their kids. See, you actually were a good dad. You see what I mean? So a lot of these things, like, dude, like, we're doing them by faith, but faith in the Word of God. And if
Yeah.
I'm going to put my faith in something, I'll tell you what, if I have to choose between Disney movies and discernment, I'm going to choose discernment that I get, from the Word of God.
Yeah.
If I have to choose between, politics, current politics, or what the Word of God has said for thousands, like thousands of years, I would say, bro, all day, every day, that's what I'm going to choose. And we're going to see the evidence in 20
Yeah.
years. Let's come back and have this conversation 20, 30 years.
To end this, like, we're encouraging you guys as parents to don't be like what Pablo said, don't be apologetic. Like, don't, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm being so strict on you. And I'm so sorry. Like that. No, like, it's okay. Like, you're not, I have heard this before from different parents that say, like, yeah, I'm my kid's best friend, like when they're like 10. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, that's very strange for me.
They don't
because
have they don't have
they
don't have
can't
the
be-
filter. They don't have the understanding to be able to be a best friend
Yeah.
of an older person.
No, you can't. And right now you need to be a parent.
Mhm.
And I think
First and foremost.
I understood that, when my pastor said that, she's like, you're not there. Cause I was feeling bad that I was like always correcting and I was always, but when I heard her say, like, you're their parent, you're not trying to be their friend. That, like, honestly, it just like took a heaviness off of me of like, yeah, that's true. Like, I only have a small window with them right now.
Mhm.
Like,
and there should be a distinction. Listen, we'll finish with this. There should be a distinction between a father and a mother that raises their children up in the way of the Lord and people that don't. There should be a distinction in that child.
Yes.
And so right now, what that
it
looks like,
shouldn't look like the world.
exactly what that looks like, is you making a lot of decisions for them. You not feeling guilty about it. Remember, you got your trump card, and it's, hey, I'm your father, I am your mother.
God put me here
Yes.
to be your mom and
Yeah.
your dad.
Yeah. And you're not going to watch that. Oh, but we've been watching this all the time. Like, well, listen, God's reminding you right now,
Yeah.
bro, you're going to be held accountable for that stuff.
Yeah.
And when that stuff, what you got to understand, guys, is that all those things are seeds. They are seeds. They're seeds. They're seeds. Indoctrinations start off with a seed. And so that seed is planted. And so then years from now, you start thinking to yourself, man, why is my kid so emo? Like, man, why is my kid so dark, bro? Like, man, why is my kid so lustful?
Or so
like,
depressed?
Why is he so depressed? Like, why does he want to kill himself? Like, oh my goodness, why does my son want to sleep with everything that he sees? Like, man, why does, my daughter, why is my daughter so, so like insecure, so like falling for the wrong guys? Well, let's come back to these times. Let's come back to this and remember that those are seeds. Those are seeds. Those are seeds. And we have to be the gatekeepers of what seeds are planted in their lives. And that's all I got to say about that.
So we are done. And we will catch you guys on the next one. And January 28th, we will be announcing it and telling you guys we're going to have Jackie and David Dorman on here with us. We're so excited. They're Jackie and David, I think I'm just going to say 5 words because I'm just going to hear them.
We're going to hear Jackie. 2 words from David, a lot from Jackie.
But when David talks, he talks.
Oh, yeah. When
David talks, he talks. So anyway, we love you guys.
Yeah, love you guys.
We pray that you have an amazing week.
Yep.
And shout out to Jenny. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Jenny.
Do we have a challenge for anybody this week?
A challenge.
What's
I think we gave them a lot.
Yeah.
So I think in every single thing that we said, there's something for them to chew on.
Yeah. Yeah, guys.
Talk with your spouse.
Yeah. It's good seeing you guys. Oh, I should play my heading out music. That way it's not so. Okay, ready? Here it goes.
All right, guys.
I've been on this song right now, but love you, everybody.
Peace out.
Go to the white shot and just like 30 seconds of
and share
of our cool
share
things.
These
Right there.
Smallest jam.